Let's talk about the format for today, Kel. It'll be 6 rounds of Swiss, best of 1.
Yep.
And then we're going into a top 8 single elimination, also best of 1. And this is the schedule for today as well. You can see for all 4 games. Guys, make sure to check out the other streams as well over at the various Bushiroad streams on the platform, but there's Cardfight Vanguard Standard, Cardfight Vanguard Premium, Weiss Schwartz, and of course the one that's pertinent to us today, Shadowverse Evolve. So as you can see, there's going to be 6 rounds of Swiss, and then there's going to be a deck check into the top cut. Now, Cal, what wonderful prizes can the people be winning today?
Yes, let's kind of go over them here. So as you can see, we have the participation supply set with some absolutely beautiful brand new artwork featuring a fan favorite character, Sekka. So we have a rubber playmat, we have a beautiful storage box, as well as a deck holder and sleeves, as well as the Melvi Princess Witch exclusive promo here to this event. Now we also have the top 4 prize, in which they get an additional Melvi Princess Witch, as well as we get that at top 8 as well.
Yeah.
However, the first place winner, Igni, take it away.
That's right. The first place winner gets something very, very special for reaching the absolute peak, the pinnacle of Shadowverse Evolve, and that is a 1-of-1 alternate art advanced Sekka featuring the art that you can see here from the supply set. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's also hot stamped. It's got everything on it. It's amazing, and every single time they do a Worlds 1-of-1, it's always incredibly beautiful. So I cannot wait to see who is able to snatch that this time at this World Finals today.
Yeah, absolutely. It could even be a Forest player, so we'll have to wait
we'll
and
have to see, yeah.
who takes it. So
that's right. I think we also do have the graphic for some deck breakdowns in terms of the of what classes are being brought today. If we can just get that up on the screen right now. We got a little bit of a graphic here. So 7-cost Dragoncraft, I think Cal definitely has the biggest target on its back, and it's the most represented here today. Extremely strong deck, as we know, using the Burn Knight from New World Genesis to be able to deal massive amounts of burn damage over the course of several turns, as well as heal back up using the Super Evolve effect. So that's definitely a deck to watch out for, but I also think it's kind of got, like I said, a target on its back. People are actually indexing their decks to be able to take it down. So I want to see how deep of a run it can make today.
Absolutely, and I think that's kind of something that's to be expected going into this meta. I think that's kind of like the easy call as one of the premier decks. And it's one of those situations where you're either going to be playing this deck or you're going to be playing a deck that you think has a good matchup against this deck. And then we have also a 20% representation of my personal favorite deck, Departed Abysscraft. This is kind of like a mid-range going into the late game style deck that uses a lot of Cemetery Recursion. It's really, really resilient. It can kind of flood the board out of nowhere, and it is quite powerful. There's a lot of complicated lines, and it's not the easiest deck to pilot, but it is very fun, and it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out.
I think Departed Abyss is also probably the strongest deck in the format in the end game. Like,
absolutely.
We were talking about this a little bit earlier, just when we were discussing the meta before the cast, but when you're playing Departed Abyss in the end game, it's like you're playing with 2 hands, because you can play from your cemetery as well. And then at the end game, your cemetery is like 20, 30 cards big, your hand is also, therefore, 20 to 30 cards big, and you have so many options every single turn. So pretty amazing.
Absolutely. It's a very interesting one to watch. And then we also have Loot and Thief Swordcraft at 19% here. This is another one that was pretty expected, right? I think this is a deck that a lot of people kind of like had, thought of as one of the more powerful decks in the format going into this. It can be both really aggressive and actually does decently well into the late game with cards like Octress getting like this extra value over time.
Yeah, and I think with Swordcraft as well, especially with the Thief Swordcraft, I think a lot of players are taking this as an ability to kind of the last opportunity to play Armor of the Stars as well before the restriction. And Armor of the Stars, obviously a very, very powerful card in Swordcraft that just lets your followers that gain value when they're on the board just stick forever, basically.
It's extremely resilient to removal, basically.
It's very, very difficult to take out. So it's good in Loot/Thief. It's also good in Festive as well. When you put it on a GMon or you put it on a Masterful Musician, it's very, very strong. So yeah, Swordcraft definitely one to watch for sure. And then the one that I kind of predicted was going to be really, really strong into this format, and I have personal beef with, okay? Not to bring my own biases into it. Forestcraft. It's both Sekka and Fairy, I think, are very strong, but I think Sekka Beast is probably the more favored one, especially with the release of the new Idolmaster EX set.
Oh, yeah.
Which introduces Miname Nita, who is able to tutor the Anastasia as well, which is such a strong play to combo into a huge board and then overwhelm your opponent with just incredible aggression. So you were saying that Departed Abyss does poorly into aggression in some cases. I think Sekka Forestcraft might be one that is able to snipe it, so you got to be careful about that.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of the Abysscraft decks kind of like realize that and maybe tech for it, but we'll have to see how things play out.
Another thing about Sekka is that it's particularly good into Thief as well, just because Sekka can banish their own cemetery, denying the sword not only the activations of their 10 or more opponent cemeteries that a lot of their cards have, but also just taking out key things from their cemetery, because you can pick and choose what you banish so that they can't steal it with their Octus in the end game. So Sekka has really good counterplay into Thief as well. And the reason why I have personal beef with it, Cal, is that I actually played quite a bit this season. I played in Grand Showdowns, multiple of them, and I played in BCSs as well. And basically every single one of my runs was ended by a Forestcraft. I honestly, earlier on the rehearsal day yesterday, Cal, we were asked by production what our predictions are of who's going to take the entire event, and I think you said Abyss.
Yeah, I said Departed Abyss specifically.
That's right. And for me, I said Fairy Forest, but I said Forest in general, but I kind of have to choose one or the other. I think it could go either way, but I think looking back now at what people are bringing, I think Sekka Beast might be the right call, especially since the aggression of it is pretty strong as well. And not only that, it's aggressive, but it also has the endgame potential of just buffing up a gigantic Sekka and then just going for a huge burst.
It's one of those, one of those decks where I call it like aggro combo. Where you can have that just kind of like standard aggression strategy, but you can also just combo and burst and just kill out of nowhere. It's kind of crazy. Yeah,
it's really, really exciting. Well, guys, I think the players are currently at the table right now, preparing to get into it. We're just going to see if they're ready, but it's really going to be exciting because I believe our first match, Cal, is going to feature last year's champion, Wibbs.
Yep, we have Wibbs, last year's champion, and so if you remember from last year, he piloted Vampire Abyss to first place, and now he's playing Departed Abysscraft, one of the decks we just talked about. And we have the perfect turn 1 play with Ilgano. This is a really, really key card to the deck. It just kind of sits around, but it just keeps coming back. Every time it dies, it goes into the EX area and also will take a card from the top of the deck and put it into the cemetery, which is really, really good for furthering strategies. And he's going to want to use effects to kind of like sack it and get additional value.
I think especially if you're able to go into turn 1 Ilgano, turn 2 Arcus, your cemetery ends up getting very big very, very quickly.
Extremely good play.
Meanwhile, on the other side here, let's not to be undone, Louis is going to be bringing Cardfight Vanguard. I believe the only Cardfight Vanguard player. And of course, it is the World Championships, so let's not play around. We're not playing Aquaforce, okay? We're playing Kagero here, the best Cardfight Vanguard deck, and has been good since its release. And I'm very familiar with this deck. I've lost to it quite a few times myself, so I should be able to comment on what's going on here. They're playing out the Gojo here, and I believe, giving it a drive right away, which is going to be able to look at the top 2 cards of the deck and try to search for a more important piece. They also already have the Amuro on board too. We missed that in the earlier when the game was just starting, which is fantastic because that's also just a way to just cycle just by revealing an Overlord from your hand, which is just incredible. Another thing that is really important with Cardfight Vanguard in particular, Cal, in this deck, is what do you pull off of Reyes is like a huge decision maker. Because Reyes, as you can see, on drive, is able to search for a Kagero follower, reveal it, add it to your hand, and then shuffle. So a huge decision point in this game is what are you going to pull off of these tutor effects, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mentioned a little bit earlier when we were talking about the decks that some of these Departed Abyss decks might tech themselves to be a little bit stronger versus aggro, and we do see that here in Wibbs' list with that Bellringer Angel. And he was able to actually shrink an attack there to make it so that Luis had to, spend 2 attackers to just take care of that one Bellringer Angel. So it dies, Wibbs gets a heal, and then he also gets to draw a card.
That's right. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. The aggression is the hard part for Departed Abyss, because once you get to the end game and you stabilize, then you're pretty much unbeatable, in my opinion. Okay, now we get another Ilganu out.
Yeah, so that was an Ilgano attack, and just to kind of like have it die, and then goes into EX. Ooh, is this
That's
the
Arcus. Arcus has hit the board.
So this is exactly what you want to do. You want to keep using that Ilgano, because once again, every time it dies, it has the last words to go back into the EX, and then you also take a card from the top of your deck and put it in your cemetery, which is really, really good. It's exactly what I want to do. And you just want to keep recycling this Ilgano over and over again until you can have the Necrocharge 10, in which case you'll bring something back from the cemetery as well. It's an incredibly key part to this deck, and I imagine we'll probably be seeing this deck a decent amount over today. So keep that in mind. Ilgano is a huge key card.
And I'll just read out the effects for people at home who might not be familiar. Arcus Spirited Manager is a 2-play point 5/5 that cannot attack enemies, but at the start of the main phase, Necrocharge 10, it summons a ghost. And the important thing here, in regards to the Ilgano synergy, you can bury another follower to once per turn to either draw a card, summon 2 ghosts, or bury the top 2 cards of your deck. So here, Wibbs used it to summon the 2 ghosts in order to trade the board and to keep himself alive a little longer. Meanwhile, on the other side, we see the Aleph come down from Louis. And Aleph is a really scary one because if Bar and Tar are in your cemetery, it evolves for free essentially, which is quite terrifying. But I believe that's already out in full force as a massive body with Twin Drive, and then also with the Burning Horn Dragon. Whenever you perform a drive check, you can ping 1 to an enemy. So that's also going to be a huge board to
You can tell that
follow.
these players are extremely versed in their decks because they're playing so fast.
Yeah, we're having trouble keeping up with the Gaster.
It's already back on Wibbs' turn. He played Cerberus, which is an insane card.
Yeah, very strong. From the new set, New World Genesis.
Yep, absolutely. This version of Cerberus just puts out the base level 2 tokens, a Mimi and a Coco token, and then you can sack them to get additional value. And he's also going to use his Arcus to get even more value. And every time one of these Mimi or Coco tokens dies, they do an effect. One of them will deal damage, the other one will heal you, and they both take cards from the top of your deck and put them in your cemetery. So Cerberus is insane value, and it's extremely, synergistic with Arcus as well. So this is exactly what Abyss wants to do. Departed Abyss. This is Abyss kind of firing on all cylinders, just into the mid game, and it just gets even better as the game goes on.
You really do have to watch out though, depending on how the game goes. If the Kagero is able to get their engine going, and they can get a Dragonic Overlord down on turn 4, turn 5, and then they can get the end down as well in the end game. That's a huge amount of burst that I don't think is recoverable for Abyss, unless they are able to get up a ton of wards with something like Chris Pumpkinhead. Yeah,
there's Chris. The Gremory is another one that they run a lot of.
Yes, Gremory you can actually summon from the cemetery as well.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So you basically, as Abyss, you just want to kind of go shields up and last into the late game. Just kind of weather the storm.
All right, here we have Nahalem hitting the field with another Burning Horn. That's going to be so much chip. Once again, Burning Horn does 1 ping to an enemy, either an enemy follower or an enemy leader, every time you drive check, and this Nahalem is going to get drive right now. And the Nahalem also does a 1 ping to the enemy leader, and is able to deal 2 damage to an enemy follower as well. So this is going to be an insane amount of chip and just clearing basically the whole board. It is hard to clear the Arcus though, isn't it? Because it's a 2-play point 5/5.
It's a 5/5. They can't attack, but it's still just a really kind of annoying to deal with.
And the drive check checks checking the Berserk instead of having it in your hand is tough. Berserk is so good for clearing every board imaginable just because it does so many instances of damage. But here we are going to see the Burning Horn able to take down the Abyss down to 16 once again, even after they healed up from the Arcus from the Cerberus previously.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this is going to be a big back and forth here. Teching a lot of healing into the Abyss deck is kind of mandatory. Aggressive decks are the deck's biggest weakness, and just having that ability to heal up is incredibly mandatory, I would say.
In that sense, I think Wibbs is also extremely familiar with the class. As we know, he won the entire thing last year with Vampire Abyss, now with a different build, obviously a different archetype, but still a lot of the Abyss fundamentals, getting the grave, the cemetery, up and running and all that is very familiar.
Yeah, and here we see that Ilgano once again. He's going to play out the Ilgano and then immediately use Arcus.
Yep.
We're going to get that
2 ghosts.
Yep, get that additional value. You'll have the trigger from Ilgano to put the card.
Gremory is now in the cemetery as well.
Yep, that is the beautiful alternate art Gremory. So we can play that from the cemetery. If he has at least 10 cards in there, just 1 play point comes out, and it's a 2/3 ward. It's a pretty solid card.
Yeah, I mean, just getting a ward out of nowhere, like you said, it's one of the Abyss's best tools against the super aggressive stuff as well.
Literally does everything you want. It protects your life. It fills up your cemetery. It's fantastic. It's kind of an unassuming card when you first look at it, but it's so powerful here. So we have a little bit of a decision making here. Where do the ghosts go? Of course, the ghosts all have Storm. So we're going to chip in
to Nahalem. Yeah, I think the problem with leaving Nahalem alive is that every time you strike, you're dealing damage to the face.
Okay, this makes a lot of sense.
Ah, very nice.
This will equal up the other 2 points of damage to kind of take that out.
Because the Cerberus can pop the Mimi as well, and that can do 2 to 1 and then 2 to another.
Yeah, the Cerberus will deal 2 damage from her own effect, and then Mimi dying will do another 2 damage, and then we'll also get the card from the top of the deck into the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
Cerberus is just a crazy card.
And then we're going to get 1 ping with the ghost. That means the Nahalem lives, it seems.
Yeah, they didn't have enough damage to take it out, so it looks like he just wanted to, just chip into life instead of chip into the follower there.
Nahalem living is a little scary depending on what Louis has in the hand. Of course, this is a closed deck list format, so it is hard to say what the next play will be, but there are definitely
with 5 play points, there's a lot of stuff you could do, I think, with this deck.
Yeah, like in terms of like there's the Reyes I was mentioning earlier. Let's see what it can pull. I think at this point you probably want to be pulling, I think I did see a couple cards drive checked earlier from the bottom that you might want to pull out, especially some of the one-ofs. As we know, Vortex Dragon also got limited in this deck 2-1 as well, so that might be an option you might want to pull.
Yeah, Vortex Dragon is like an insane 3-for-1, right? It's the 6/6 for 5 that comes into play. You banish 3 Kagero cards from your cemetery, and then you just blow up 2 enemy followers.
Yeah, and that would be good against the Arcus and the Cerberus here, certainly.
Yeah, we see it. We see it.
Right there it is, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's so good that it did get restricted down to 1.
It can't be played now, though, because we don't have the play points for it on Louis' side.
But that is a good setup card, right?
Yeah, for the next turn for sure, especially if you have a good lead into the turn after as well.
And Wibbs knows that he has it too, so you don't want to overextend into that thing.
True and real. We did see 2 Burning Horns already removed, so it's kind of unfortunate that the Nahalem and the Reyes having the drive check is not going to get additional value unless there's a 3rd Burning Horn. No, instead we do have a Tar, which is able to take it out.
Yeah, you got to take out of that Cerberus.
With the rush, yeah. I mean, the fact that the Cerberus can just has the ability to either attack or sacrifice one of your guys is really, really powerful.
Yeah, the Cerberus plus Arcus plus the Ilgano in EX is rough. Though I will note that it looks like Wibbs does have Necrocharge 10 now with that Cerberus going into the cemetery. So
yeah, correct.
The next time that Ilgano comes out, it will trigger her fanfare effect, which will be able to get something back from the cemetery.
Is there anything good to pull back from the cemetery right now, though? I did not see a Wretch put in.
I think so.
Yet,
Wretch is ideal. Great Pit Corpse is also another one you want to keep an eye out for.
Gold Rush Ghost, not bad either, I think.
Gold Rush Ghost is pretty good, yeah.
And we see now the Necrocharge 10, meaning that the Arcus does summon the Ghost on the beginning of the turn, which is nice.
It's extremely nice, because now Arcus will summon its own fodder, right?
Yeah, and then it can ping it off itself. Yeah, true. Oh, and we're seeing a Soul Convert as well.
Classic.
You got to draw some cards, trying to look through your deck.
One of my favorite cards in the game. Hey, it's a 1-drop that draws you 2 cards. You have to sack one of your dudes, but I think you're pretty happy to do that here.
Wukong. Tell me about this guy. This guy's from New World Genesis.
This card is wild. So he doesn't do anything by himself, but when he evolves, you can basically go get a 3-drop card from your cemetery, and then you just put it into play. And we do see the Gold Rush Ghost here coming into play. So the Gold Rush Ghost is a 2/2 with Storm, but if it comes into play from the cemetery, you can do all of its effects, which includes taking cards from the top of your deck, putting them into your cemetery, and then also get a little, I think it was just a little
Arcane Personnel Carrier, as well.
Yeah, Arcane Personnel Carrier, and then it heals you for 1. Yep. And then the carrier itself can provide a little bit of extra value here, but Mukon also has an additional effect that might come into play a little bit later if you do with the Super Evo. Basically, you get to do that summoning a dude from your cemetery twice if you do the Super Evo. And so here we have...
Unfortunately, Wibbs, I don't think is able to do the Super. Yeah, because it is turn 6 and going first. So
not quite yet.
Yeah.
But so here we have this Gold Rush Ghost. It does have Storm, so it can attack immediately. The is that a Mimi or a Coco? It's going to come in for another 2 points of damage. And then important to note that the Gold Rush Ghost automatically sacrifices itself at the end of the opponent's turn. So it's not going to stick around for too much longer. It kind of just goes back into the cemetery so you can use it again in future turns.
That's a lot of chip from Wibb's side.
We're going to use that to trade on, and it makes a lot of sense here. Clean up the board as much as you can. The Departed Abyss deck really, really wants to go into the late game and just grind its opponent out because it just has so much longevity. So trading board makes a lot of sense. And here we have that Bellringer Angel coming on in. This is the new Bellringer Angel, by the way. It's a 0/3 that also heals you and draws you a card when it dies.
Yeah, it's like the old Bellringer got an upgrade, honestly.
Yeah, it did.
And she got a name, too. Her name is Leah now.
Oh, yeah, very nice.
Please respect it.
Respect the name.
I think we are going to see that Vortex that we pulled off of Reyes just a turn before.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, ideally taking out the Mukon and the Arcus behind the wards for sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah, since the Gold Rush Ghost auto like sacks itself, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You don't really care much about the
Bellringer. I might not even run with the Reyes here, to be honest, unless you're hoping for a heal trigger. But I think that's a bit optimistic.
Bellringer is a 0/3. I mean, you can chip in a little bit, I guess, but then it makes your follower vulnerable, right?
Exactly, that's the problem. And again, like unless you're, I mean, if you just get a heal trigger, that would be pretty nice.
yeah. I mean, life totals are slowly getting down here.
Yeah. We are going to see the heal trigger played out of hand, which does heal. It does heal.
Okay.
So that is going to heal you back a little bit. And the crucial thing is that it is also a ward. So
yeah, it's a small ward, but it is a ward. It is a ward.
I mean, small wards matter when you're getting pinged down by ghosts. Even taking out one of those ghosts could mean the difference between being one off lethal or losing the game, right?
Interesting to note, he doesn't look like he warded it up.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, here we have Big Daddy Icy coming on in. This is...
We're going to stick with that name?
Yeah, Big Daddy Icy. Yep. He's got the aura for it.
Let me tell you something, Cal. I've been playing Rival's Story recently, and
good.
Ice Shalendrick has a really cool power set. He's got a lot of interesting magic. He's got Curse Crafter. But then in the hard game, he just gets a train, and I'm like a bit baffled by it.
Hey, it's his own personal train. The train does so much work.
Tell me what the train does.
So the train, it comes down. It's an amulet, but it needs to be... I can't remember the right words for it. Maneuvered.
That's right.
In order to turn it into a follower. But when it does... It has a really nasty strike effect where it can destroy an opposing.
Heals.
And yeah, it also heals you as well. So it gives you tons of value, and then you can use Icy to maneuver it as well. And then when Icy is engaged, he forces your opponent to discard cards.
Yeah, the discarding thing is really brutal, especially for more aggressive decks that are, otherwise the weakness of the Abysscraft. If you can just take out their one key card from their hand, then suddenly they're swimming up some kind of creek.
So we had exactly that. So Icy maneuvered the Magitech train.
Yep.
It attacked and then attacked into the smaller dude, and then the trigger killed the big dragon.
It is truly tough for the Kagero to come back from this. I think there is a way. There is a way. Obviously, Dragonic Overlord does destroy everything, so that is a way to do it.
That would be the ideal situation, because leaving Icy on board, he's just going to do this every turn. Right?
Oh, yeah.
He's going to rip cards from hand, and then you have the insane value out of the train. And so it's good. Luis is in a really tough spot here, and he's all backed up. Wibbs is all backed up by this little unassuming Bellringer.
Thing is, if there is looking for it, but that means it's not in the hand. Let's see what Reyes pulls. I would expect it's going to be the end.
I mean, you got to go get your haymaker here, right?
It is indeed the end. And yeah, once again, guys, Dragonic Overlord, the end. It has honestly quite a brutal card. 7 cost, 6/6.
Yeah.
Storm Ward Twin Drive. If you have Dragonic Overlord in your cemetery, the original, recover 1 play point. Strike, pay 3 play points to discard the end to have this refresh so it can attack twice, and then it also can banish 5 Kagero cards from your cemetery to destroy each other follower on the field. So if you're able to get or live long enough for Dragonic Overlord, it's representing a huge amount of damage, potentially OTK worthy if you get a critical trigger. But very nice. So this this Kagero techs in. I actually played this for a little bit here. It techs in Demonic Dragon Berserker Yaksha, which is amulet removal, and I suspect it's teched in specifically for the train.
Yeah, because the train is only a follower if you maneuver it, right? Otherwise, it's just an amulet. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So
the Angel finally goes down, but it does get the nice little heal and draw. Icy's still on board.
I will say, very fortunate to get. It's a pretty strong card, and it's also got a bit of modality too, because it can also deal 2 to each enemy leader.
Okay.
So if you're trying to go for a more aggressive game plan, you don't need it for the Magic Train. You can just use it to burn, but if you need it for the train, you can use it to take out the train. So.
Speaking of Magic Train, hey, look, here's another one.
So yeah, I mean, that is the strength of Abyss, isn't it?
Yeah. So we have second Icy coming down.
Yeah.
I think it's just maneuvering the train. Yep. So we maneuver the train with the first Icy, and then we have a train attack. We have the trigger taking out the bigger unit, attacking into the 1/1. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. You heal up, you get a ton of that value. The train is just, I mean, it's a train, right? It's just it's an absolute train, man.
Real. The thing is that if they, okay, so the Dragon, sorry, I should say the Kagero, of course, it's a Vanguard Universe deck, is down to 7 defense, but 7 defense is technically not over yet because Dragonic Overlord can come out. It can potentially check a couple of crit triggers, and it's OTK. But that really depends on what the top is, and I think Louis has done a pretty good job filtering as well, to be fair. So it might actually be the case, but we'll see. Okay, we're going to take out the Chris.
Ooh, okay. So Chris is the card that actually brought back in the Icy. So the Icy actually has Ward.
Yes.
And so we have an Arcus taking out the Chris to kind of like cycle through the deck a little bit, and also free up a spot on the board, because in Shadowverse Evolve, you can only have 5 cards on your board at a time. Oh,
interesting. So we're not playing the Dragonic Overlord just yet. We're instead going to be playing a Bar, which is a ward that draws a card, and it's going to, okay, we're also comboing that into a Nahalem, which will be able to deal 2 damage to an enemy follower. But we're just doing the Bar ward pass.
3 play points left up.
I think this might be curtains. I don't see how Louis lives this now.
Yeah, I'm like, unless I'm missing something. So we have the free ghost from Arcus. Gonna come in, kind of chip a little bit at the ward here. Now, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, we have Odile. So this is gonna deal 2 damage to the enemy player and all of the stuff they have, and it also has Storm because he has enough cards in Cemetery for the Necro Charge, and then we just have a big attack in.
That will definitely be game.
Yep, and that's game. Yeah, that's exactly textbook Departed Abyss.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really great match. I think it was a tough matchup for Louis, to be completely fair. Like, that's a hard one to last through. Because not only does, Wibbs is also checked against the aggressive options, first of all. But he also got the Ilgano and Arcus combo pretty early on in the game as well.
That's literally like the best turn 1 and turn 2 play. Ilgano's best turn 1 play, and then turn 2, arguably it's Arcus, I think. And then after that, you could just get so much value out of it. Just kind of like filling your cemetery up, and then he just kind of like curved out into like banger after banger. We had Cerberus, we had Icy, we had Chris getting Icy back. It was just exactly what you want to do with Departed Abyss.
So it's a very strong start for the previous year's world champion. Yeah. I'm glad to see it in action because I wasn't able to cast last year. So So to be able to see Wibbs at work is a privilege. So very, very cool, very nice piloting of Departed Abyss. That being said, Louis actually put up a pretty good fight, I think.
Yeah.
It was a little hard in the end game because it was a bit awkward, right? You wanted the Vortex on that turn, but you don't have it, so you have to use Reyes to pull it, but then it's, your turn too late. And then you want Overlord on that turn, but you don't have it, so you have to pull it, and then it's a turn too late. So a bit unfortunate on that front. So I will say definitely an off-meta pick to bring Kagero, the only Vanguard player in the entire field. So I wish Louis the best of luck going forward.
If you are a Vanguard faithful out there, and he's the one to root for, right?
That's right, absolutely. Now, Kel, I believe this broadcast also has a bit of a special viewer interaction segment. Why don't you tell me a little bit about this trivia quiz we got going on?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of stuff going on here. So we do have this Twitch leaderboard quest that involves a lot of stuff here. We have bets, we have trivia, and we can kind of just break it down here. So for every 10 minutes you watch the stream, you're going to be getting 10 points, right? And then you can also place your bets before each match using your points to kind of like predict who will win between player A or B. And then you can type what it says here on screen. So you can say, like, example, type in this thing, and it says, bet 10 points on player A, and then you do the bet. And then once you've made your predictions, your points are locked, so you choose wisely, and correct predictions will earn you points you predicted. And you can actually win prizes with these points. So prizing includes, this is 3 winners per game. First place, you get an exclusive playmat and a random booster box, which is pretty awesome. Second place, you can get an exclusive playmat, and third place, you get a random booster box. So definitely participate. And got nothing to lose there, right? Just place your bets and get some prizes.
Oh, and that playmat is gorgeous for the Evolve one.
I'm very biased. I very much love the Shadowverse Evolve playmat.
The omens are so cool, too. And again, so 100%. You can get points from, watching the stream, from doing the bets, but also we have a trivia segment as well, I believe. So here comes the trivia. All right. So answer in the chat. From which turn can the super evolution point be used for the player going first? Is it A, turn 7, B, turn 8, C, turn 9? Type your answer in the chat, and we will reveal it when we come back from the break. Now, Kel, this is actually a pretty relevant question since the Super Evolution point is relatively new to the English format of Shadowverse Evolved.
Absolutely, and people who are paying attention to the previous round, I believe we kind of said that at one point. So if you were paying attention, you might know.
Don't watch us muted, all right? That's all I got to say about that. But as we said, the trivia reveal will be happening after we come back from the break and go into the second round. That being said, we're going to go into a short break until the second round. So don't go anywhere. Stay right here for more Shadowverse Evolved action. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bushiroad Championship Series 25-26 World Finals. Kel, we are here with round 2. We're about to get started into it with 2 well-known community members, but first, we have to reveal what was the answer to that trivia question we had just before the break. So, of course, the trivia question was, from which turn can the Super Evolution point be used? For the player going first, was it A, turn 7, B, turn 8, or C, turn 9? The correct answer is...
Of course, A.
Of course, A. We even said it in the commentary for the previous match. So if you were paying attention, you would have known that as an easy layup. If you got the question right in the chat, make sure to celebrate because you just got a couple points, okay? And like we said earlier, you can use those points to actually get prizes from watching this stream. So pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to be doing this every single round for the rest of the day. So stay tuned for all of that. More chances to win those playmats and booster boxes.
I think we'll update the leaderboard as well.
I think so, yeah. We're actually going to have a leaderboard for the people who have points.
Oh, we actually even have it right now already, even just after the first question.
We have a lot of perfects here.
Wow, these people are locked in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty amazing.
So yeah, we're going to keep this updated as well throughout the rest of the day. So if you want to, stay high on the leaderboards, stay here, pay attention.
100%. Now, Cal, let's get into the round 2 pairing.
Absolutely.
Really exciting stuff I mentioned earlier. It's 2 players who are pretty well known in the community, Boats Don't Sink and Reedy. So really cool to see them hit the field here. And it's going to be Abysscraft from Reedy. Well, I think I'll probably guess what they're playing there.
It's probably Departed Abyss. That's kind of like the Abyss deck
But Boats Don't Sink is playing a Forestcraft, which I am very excited to see in action. And I've been gassing it up all weekend to this guy off stream, so if it ends up flopping, I'm going to look like a fool.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's one of those decks where I feel like it's strong, right? But after talking to a lot of the players a little bit yesterday, there's a lot of players who are really, really high on it. Some folks think it might just be one of the best decks, if not the best deck out there right now. So we're going to have to see if that kind of like proves true today.
And we're starting right away with a nice sportsman-like fist bump into a turn 1 Sekka. Okay, we're just getting started right away.
All right, yeah. So for those of you out there who don't really know how this works, the Sekka Forest deck is kind of like, I'd call it like an aggro combo deck, right? It's a deck that has a ton of low drops, a ton of 1 and 2 cost cards, and a lot of the cards also just happen to have Storm. They synergize really, really well with each other, and you want to combo cards together so you pump your board, have them have Storm, and then just attack into your opponent's face. That's kind of like the baseline of how the deck works.
Meanwhile, on Reedy's side, they're playing a turn 1 Ilgano as well.
Perfect.
So it looks like both players have a pretty strong opener here.
Yeah, absolutely iconic cards for both of the decks.
So Sekka is going to swing for 1. And the good thing about Sekka is that it can also start digging through the deck a little bit, as well as putting cards into the cemetery, which is actually important for the fact that you can then have the fodder to banish them once the Sekka is in the cemetery in order to get the advanced version out. This is one of the new cards, Kel, Baby Carbuncle, that came out of the New World Genesis set. And it's just yet another beast card that can bounce a beast, which is fantastic for the synergies in this deck. Not least of all Sekka, but of course also the other beasts in the deck are very powerful to bounce as well.
Yeah, you're going to see that a lot with this kind of deck. Cards coming into play and then returning back to hand and then coming into play and kind of just recycling them here. On Ridvin's side, we see obviously with the Ilgano coming on in and just kind of following that up. With a
Itsurugi. Tell me about this card, Kel.
Itsurugi is an interesting card. It's a card that came out in one of the combined sets, and in Wasteland, or not Wasteland Abyss, but in Departed Abyss, he kind of adds a little bit of extra value in terms of having that card that goes in the X area that also kind of like mills you, does a little bit of damage, but also he has the advanced form that also can heal you as well.
Yeah, I think the chip healing might matter a lot in this matchup, especially since the Forestcraft deck is incredibly aggressive with lots of damage, not only in the early game, but of course in the late game as well. Once the Sekka advance actually comes online, then you can use the the resolve in the Nine-Tailed Fox to give it +4/+4 in Storm
Yes.
and to take out an enemy follower, so it's pretty scary. Oh, out comes a Fina. So Fina is a really strong card in this deck. It's a neutral card that is able to look at the top 5 and put a 1 cost into your hand.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also really strong off of the back of a Chipper Skipper if you can get it, because Fina is a mercenary. So if you can get it off of the Chipper Skipper, it also gets +1/+1 and Rush on top of doing all of that.
I almost didn't recognize the Fina because of that alternate art from the Seaside Memories.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And we're also going to see, oh, there it is. Windflower Tiger.
Yeah, you were just telling me about this card. This card's it's kind of wild. It is a 2/3 with Ward that also on Fanfare goes and it returns a Beast Follower not named Windflower Tiger to hand, but then you can go search for a Salvia Panther, which is another insanely powerful card.
Yeah.
So it's a 2/3 with Ward that also goes and tutors for another powerful card.
Yeah. And the Salvia Panther gets reduced in cost if something has been bounced, which the Windflower does on Fanfare. So immediately you have like just a board from basically thin air.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about this a little bit in the last round, but the big weakness of the Abyss, Departed Abyss deck is aggressive decks. And this Forestcraft deck is extremely aggressive. We haven't seen like too much damage yet, but don't let that fool you. The Forest deck can be extremely explosive and do a ton of damage out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah. Like, we don't know what exactly they run in this list, but, Shamu Shama, Sukuna, lots of low-cost cards that also just have a massive amount of store.
Anastasia is a really popular one that kind of pumps your whole board.
And of course, the new Idolmaster EX set just came out with the Minami Nita that can pull the Anastasia too. So it's really leverages the newest cards.
You gotta know that like the deck's gonna be running the Anastasia stuff. So we do have some Dead to Rights cards coming on in, cleaning up the board. You definitely want to take care of this stuff so it can't be constantly returned back to hand
or buffed with the Anastasia.
Exactly. Yeah. you want to take care of it while you can before it's out of like killable range. The Ilgano, once again, always just going back into the EX zone after you pay for it or after it you use it for the last words. It's just a super, super efficient card. So
spending 3, 4.
Back to boats.
We are going to get the advanced Sekka away.
So here we have the advanced Sekka. Igni, tell me about this one. This is kind of like a namesake of the deck, right?
Yeah, so Sekka, when it's in the cemetery, is able to banish itself and a few other cards in order to get the advanced out. And then you can get from your deck Resolve of the Nine-Tailed Fox, which is that spell we see right here. And that spell then buffs up the Sekka. The only problem is that there's not that many cards in the banish zone yet. That being said, it is still just a +2/+2 and removal, which is very important here. So while it's not getting the full value of the Resolve of the Nine-Tailed Fox, I think Boats recognizes that you can't always play greedy all the time. Sometimes you just need the body and need the removal, and that's good enough in a lot of the cases. So
you want to take care of the Itsurugi before he can also get to his advanced form.
So this is now a 5/5. And it's very
pretty good. It's still pretty good. It's pretty good at 5/5. And like just establishing a big board against Abyss right now is imperative. You can't let Abyss get to like the mid and the late game, because if you do, then Abyss can really run away with it.
And I think you were telling me last night as well. Sorry to interrupt you, but I think you were telling me last night as well that 5 health is kind of a difficult flashpoint for Abyss to handle.
It's very annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only card really, and typically in a Wasteland or Departed Abyss, I keep saying Wasteland. That was the previous version of this deck.
Right.
In Departed Abyss is the Wretch, because like Evo Wretch can deal 5 damage, but most of the other effects deal like either chunks of 2 or like instances of 4. So like Great Pix does 4, and then Cerberus can do 2 instances of 2 each, just kind of on play. So 5 health is just really annoying.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like awkward to deal with.
So
and the only way you can even Evo the Wretch is if you bring it back from your cemetery, right?
Yes.
So like, even then, it can be a little bit difficult. Now, we do have one of the cards that can kind of help set that up with the Ilgano, but once again, you need the Wretch in the cemetery, and then you also need at least 10 cards for the Ilgano to bring it back. So there's still a lot of setup to be had here on Ridvin's side.
And I think that might be why Boats went for the Sekka this turn, because looking into the next turn, if this Sekka can't be removed, then suddenly Anastasia comes out and it gets really bad really fast for Reedy.
Yeah, and just establishing just a 5/5 in general is just really good. It's just a threat that Ridvin has to really deal with, and that's kind of like why he's tanking so much here. He really needs to once again, either dig for it or find some sort of way to answer that. Playing out the Ilgano and then immediately soul converting it is a kind of like a classic play.
And what is in the cemetery right there? We see a Gremry just
beautiful
hit the cemetery,
Gremry
so we do have a little bit of aggro counterplay once we get to 10 in the cemetery, but it's still kind of a while from now.
Yeah, and we have this alternate cost for Tartarus. They're going to put Tartarus in the EX, and then we also get a little bit of advantage here, filling up our cemetery even more. Playing out the Ilgano again for the last play point.
And we actually do have it!
And we have the Wretch. Okay, so yeah, this makes a lot of sense. This is exactly what you wanted to do. Like we were talking about, you need to have the requisite number of cards in the cemetery. Bring the Wretch back. You can Evo it immediately, deal the 5 damage, and then it has Storm as well, so you can also chip in here. So that's incredibly powerful play
that
here.
Was beautifully executed from Reedy, actually.
Yeah, it kind of all just fell into place, right? It's like all the Tetris pieces lined up.
Now, how does Connor respond? Connor, a.k.a. Boats Don't Sink.
He's on the back foot here. Ridvan still has 19 health, so he's fairly healthy, but you never can discount the ability to just absolutely, just flood the board with dudes with the forest deck and just pump them up to ridiculous degrees, especially if you have something like Anastasia in hand.
Oh, there is the Minami Nita, which is going to pull the Anastasia from the deck.
Yeah, you mentioned this is one of the brand new cards, right?
Yes, so it puts Anastasia from the deck into the X area and makes it cost 3 less. So then the Anastasia
kind of makes it free almost.
It's literally free because Anastasia costs 5 and recovers 2 on play, and then if you have it cost 3 less, so it costs 2 and recovers 2. Not only that, but the Minami Nita adds to the combo count, which makes it easier for Anastasia to hit combo 3, combo 5, which is super important because at combo 3, Anastasia recovers more play points, and at combo 5, it buffs the whole board. But crucially, it is only for this turn, so it kind of locks Boats into this play of playing the Anastasia now. I'm pretty sure he's going to do it, though.
You got to run it out.
Yeah. See, the Anastasia comes out. We are now at combo 2, and we are recovering 2. We are now at combo 3. With this, so the Anastasia procs and recovers another 2 play points. The Windflower will bounce the Carbuncle, which then pulls out Salvia Panther, and Salvia Panther now costs 1 because of the Windflower's effect. Salvia Panther is also a Storm follower that can evolve, while Windflower is a ward. There's a lot going on.
I mean, like I said, this is the ability for this deck to go from like 0 to like 60. It's wild.
And that is combo 3 now. And we know he has Carbuncle in hand and Salvia Panther. So Salvia Panther is going to come down. That's combo 4.
This is 4.
And then it probably is going to be...
And, then we have the twins coming in. So this is combo 5. It's also going to pump the whole board now.
And remember, Shamu Shama on combo 5 deals 3 damage to an enemy follower, has Storm, and Strike combo 3 gets buffed up by another +1/+1. And so now the whole board gets buffed by Anastasia. The Shamu Shama will get buffed again by itself. And the Windflower has Ward. The Salvia has Storm. So it's doing a lot of damage very quickly while also putting up a massive ward that has to be answered and a defensive ward to shield the important Anastasia that is the biggest threat in the board.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I'm out of breath now.
Everything that Igni said. So the Wretch is gone.
Yeah.
And now Ridvan is just staring down a massive board.
Shamu Shama gets buffed as well from the combo.
So this is 7 damage total.
And a board of
just beef.
Look 5 quadrillion guys.
And look at the health on this board.
Yeah.
Like 3, 4, 5, 4, 3. Like, how do you even deal with this?
Especially like you said, like Cerberus pings in 2, so the 3s are annoying.
It's rough. It's real rough.
Great Pick pings in 4s, so the Anastasia is annoying. This is so hard for the Abyss to deal with. I think.
Yeah, I mean, like, Pick only does 4. We have 5 play points. It's really, really rough from here. Like, there are some lines where you can clean up this board a little bit, like if you do something along the lines of like Cerberus and Great Pick, but you don't have enough play points for that, right?
Yeah.
Like that's 7 play points. We're only dealing with 5 play points here.
That's very tough. And look how fast like this board can be developed, right? Dude, basically nothing.
That was turn 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was turn 5.
I'm telling you, Sekka Beast is a beast. It's in the name.
It's one of those decks. I keep saying this, but yeah, it literally goes from like 0 to 60. Yeah. It's just like from nothing. And then you saw Connor, you saw Boats just kind of like do the math, right? He put the cards down. He's like, okay, do I have all the play points to do this? Run it through his head. Yep, I got it all. Play it all out.
And like I gotta say, beautifully executed with a max rare deck too. That's the Yu Shamu Shama, the Yu Minami Nita, and the Yu Anastasia.
To be fair, I think both players are almost running max rarity, at least from what I've seen so far.
It is pretty amazing.
It's very impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a Chris coming on in. So this is Chris beyond the patch. He's got to bring in a follower from the cemetery and give it ward. He's bringing in an Icy Shellandrig, which is also going to bring in that Magitech Train. So we saw this in the last game. This is a lot of value. We still have the 1 play point available, so you can actually maneuver that train.
I think importantly, it can snipe the Anastasia from behind the ward.
Yes.
Like, that's the most important thing.
Well, and yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait, no, the ward's not even warded. Okay.
Because the train is going to get the ability to shoot something else when it attacks. So it's going to be a nice little 2-for-1. Probably take out...
it has to be the Anastasia. There's no way you can leave that.
Yeah, you're gonna attack into probably the 4-3 and then destroy Anastasia
or
from
maybe the
trigger.
Shamu, because the Shamu has a continuous
It could
combo
be.
3.
It could be that too. It depends on how much you value that extra point of damage on your life total, whether or not you think it's going to be relevant to you surviving this next go-around.
Although, to be fair, doesn't they also have the bullet bike, which can give something rush, right?
That is true. So we see the engage on the Anastasia here. So we're going to see Icy. Let's see.
And then we have to discard, of course, from the engage effect.
Yep.
What are we discarding? We're discarding.
And this is a selective discard. It's not random, so
yeah, you can pick.
He gets to choose.
It's only 4 cards in hand is still kind of a
this is going to be an important choice here. Yeah. It is very relevant. And it also shows the power of the Departed Abyss also being able to just kind of like, deploy a board out of nowhere. So we have the Magitech train online as denoted here. So it now is a follower, no longer an amulet. We have Chris's effect.
I just got to double check. Is Chris a wasteland? I don't think he is.
No, he's departed.
He's just a guy.
Yeah, he's a dude.
I can kind of see him in the wasteland though if you look at his.
Sure, yeah, sure. he's got a piece on him.
All right.
So we have the train coming in. So it is going to be attacking.
Yep, the Shamu Shama. Oh wait, hold up.
Oh maybe.
Okay.
Oh,
we're gonna give the. Oh yeah, right. So. It still gives Chris rush, I believe. It just doesn't give it the +1 attack. So the Chris is still going to be able to run into the threat of the Windflower.
So it's exactly what we said before. So you called the attack on the twins and then the trigger on the Anastasia. And that's a pretty good way to clean up the board, right? And remember, Icy has ward as well. You got the ward from the Chris effect. So still staring down a pretty scary board, right? A 4-4 and a 4-3, but much less scary than a full board here.
That's right. Yeah, and also the what was I gonna say? I think the twins is also a more important target because it's so easy to bounce during your turn as well.
Yeah, I think that was the right call.
Yeah.
Especially if you can clean up the board to this degree, just kind of like staring back at some just like dudes now. But looking at trying to get a glimpse of Connor's hand, he's doing the same thing. He's like putting the cards down, kind of like doing the math counting. And I was like, can I do all this stuff? I have 6 play points now.
We have already 8
I think he has another Minami in hand.
All you have to do is deal like 6, which is not impossible.
Yeah, you gotta get rid of Icy first. So he's basically got to do like 20 points of damage here, right?
There is another Minami Nita in hand.
Yeah, he has. I think.
And a Piercy. Piercy can also help play this board as well.
Piercy's nice because it'll help deal a little bit of damage when anything evos. It can like help deal ping damage to followers.
Is there enough? Yeah, I think it is going to be the Minami Nita, which is going to pull out another Anastasia.
So we're going to see a similar turn to last turn.
Except now there's no... Oh, I guess it is kind of awkward. There's not a great bounce target, I think, to get another Salvia, so it might be a different line. Depends on what he has in hand, I suppose.
Yeah, he still has a couple cards in hand after this. I think he's the 3 more cards. He did the math here, so I think he sees a line. And once again, you can never like discount this forest deck. Like, it's just got such explosive turns. So we have the Anastasia coming on in.
Very nice, very nice. And then out it comes.
So that's going to...
And then it immediately recovers 2 again. That's already combo 2. But only 1 board space is kind of the issue here, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, you can always kind of, like, just trade your dudes into Icy if you need to.
I want this 8 to go to the dome.
Sure. I mean, like, yeah, that's the idea. But if you were really strapped for board space...
Oh, and he's going to have to bounce the Salvia without attacking with it first, just to get the bounce from the Carbuncle.
Just to get the bounce effect,
But of course, that's combo 3, meaning that you recover another 2 play points. Now,
back up to 4.
4 play points to work with, but not a lot of board space. And one of your attackers has been used up. It's going to be Windflower to bounce back the Carbuncle to get another Salvia Panther. That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Yep. And once again, the Salvia Panther has Storm as well.
And that will be combo 5. So
it'll be Storm and then +1 to the whole board.
Yep.
Because of Anastasia's effect.
Very, very nice.
And this is kind of like what the deck wants to do.
But again, you still have to run into the Icy, which is kind of an issue.
He's a big boy. He's big and has that ward. And the deck doesn't really run super efficient ways of dealing with a 6/6 ward other than just attacking with it.
Yeah, I think it has to just, it just
so
has to run in.
So we have the 4/4 Minami coming on in, dealing 4 damage. Icy, of course, is a 6/6 here.
Now we got 2 play points left. That is going to be combo 5. I wonder why not just
play it first and then get the +1
get the buff and then hit the Aisha with a 5 attacker.
It might not matter because Icy wouldn't die just from that.
I guess.
It might not matter in the end.
Well,
because he's still going to have to run 1 more attacker into
That's
it
true.
to finish it
What's
off.
the last card in the deck, or what's the last card of the turn, though?
Yeah, still two more play points.
I think it's only 1 more play point, right? Because the Salvia costs 1. Yeah, okay, so only 1 more play
point.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
I believe. Oh, no. Yeah, another Salvia!
Okay, well.
Okay, that one is going to be able to run in. So that one also costs 1 because a bounce happened this turn. So now.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Now this Salvia can now hit face.
Oh, so we have 4, 7, 10, 14. This is lethal, I think.
Oh no, the 2.
Oh, they don't have storm.
Yeah, the
Anastasia doesn't have storm.
And the Minami Nita.
Yeah, that's true.
Storm,
okay,
so.
yeah.
And the Salvia. Oh, also the Windflower doesn't have storm either. It's only 4 damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was getting ahead of myself. I was just like doing the math, and I'm like, oh, it's exactly 14. But no, you're right. I can't just assume that everything in this deck has storm, even if it feels like they all have storm. They don't actually.
When you're playing against it, it certainly feels.
It does.
That way.
It does absolutely feel like that. So we do, like you said, we just have this 1 attack here.
4 to the dome. Leaving the Chris up is a little scary. I guess you might want to ward the... Yeah, you probably do want to ward this just in case, but I think this might be going to the Abyss player, though. I feel like they were able to reach sort of the mid-late game here in a pretty stable position.
They've got 11 cards in trash, a lot of cards in hand. They have Tartarus in EX. They still have the train on board, which is always a nice 2-for-1.
And the train can just hit phase 2 now, starting now, because it's already been on the board for a turn. So.
Yep, it can go phase 2.
But how do we get rid of this Windflower ward, though, is the answer. Is the question, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, like, if they just want to go face, they would have to deal with it first, of course. If they just want to clear board and they don't think they have lethal, then the train is going to do a lot of work here. The train itself can attack into the ward and then pick off one of the, like the Anastasia, for example.
Now, remind me of Tartarus' effect here. What's the necro charge for it to come online?
I don't think he has enough.
It's 20, right?
For Tartarus here. So I'm pretty sure Tartarus is, let's see. So the regular version of Tartarus, it's 15. It's
15,
but it has to be departed cards.
Oh, yes.
So some cards that are in there are departed cards that you might not think are departed cards, like Soul Conversion is actually a departed spell. We're not quite there on Tartarus.
Oh, yeah, no. Not even close.
And Tartarus will cost 5 less. If there are 15 departed cards, and it comes into play and it does a ton of stuff. It does a ton of stuff.
Yeah, it does a lot.
It reses dudes. It's huge. But just kind of keep that in mind. It's not that hard to get up to 15. We're already at 11 here. I don't think it's going to be coming into play this turn, but if we get around to another turn cycle, that's something that definitely could come into play here. I don't have a good visual. Okay, so we have Ilgano. So Ilgano.
Oh, I think this might be.
Wretch is so good here.
This might be curtains because you can evolve the Wretch to get rid of the ward.
It's going to deal 5 damage to ward.
Yep.
Wretch has Storm.
So much damage.
Let's see. So
can't maneuver the train.
But will you want to play something out and then have that one because it can't attack immediately maneuver the train? So you'll probably play something else and then use that to maneuver the train.
I think ideally you play another Chris, right? And then that's able to also get the maneuver cost as well.
Yeah.
It only costs 4.
Let's see. And so we have...
It's Cerberus.
Oh, okay, yeah, this is Cerberus. So it's not going to be able to put both Mimi and Coco, but you can pick which one, right? Yeah. But this is going to have... yeah.
Oh yeah, you can just maneuver it because the token also has a cost. That's right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so strong. Incredibly performant gameplay from Ridvan. I think the deciding turn that was able to get Reedy back into the game was when that Ilgano turn was just so smooth, able to pull that red shot to answer the second.
Yeah, he tanked for a little bit there, and then he just kind of like went through all the lines in his head, and he's like, "Yep, I got it," and was able to just fight back against the absolute beef that Anastasia was able to put on the board.
Such a close match too. That was really amazing. I think if Reedy didn't deal with that Sekka that turn, and it really was close because it was the exact amount of play points, the exact sequencing, like that exact line, using an evolve point too on the Reg because he ran out of play points. Like that exact sequencing to get exactly 10 in the grave that turn was what won Reedy the game, I think. Yeah, that Sekka was not allowed to live.
And I think this is kind of like really indicative of the power level right now of Shadowverse Evolve.
Yeah.
Like both of these decks are just some of the best decks in the absolute game right now. Like, these are our picks more or less for the decks. Yeah, so I'm like on the departed Abyss. You said Forest.
I'm a Forest. Oh, I'm a Forest hater, but I think it
well, yeah. You think it's gonna win because you're a hater. Like, that's why.
True.
Yeah. You're like
Malice in my heart.
Yeah, exactly. It better win.
Yeah.
But yeah, the decks are both extremely powerful and extremely explosive, but kind of in different ways, right? Different kind of flavors of it, and both decks are able to go from like nothing on the board to just this huge board.
Right? Yeah. When it was Minami Nita making that huge Anastasia, and then suddenly Chris gets Aisha and now it's suddenly even game again. Yeah.
Both decks are really, I can't understate this, both decks are really complicated to play. When you're actually sitting down to play the games, there are so many lines, so many different things you have to think about, especially like, so for the Forest side is like thinking about sequencing cards, pulling cards from deck. You're pulling your Anastasias, you're pulling like the Panthers.
Yeah, the Salvia Panther,
from your deck. And then on the Abyss side, you have to, factor in all the cards in your cemetery versus all the cards in your hand and sequencing all of them.
And not to mention with Force as well, you got to decide, what you want to pull off of the off-top tutor from Sekka, what you want to banish to activate your advance. Do you want to get the advance out early like we saw in that game, or do you want to wait for the full value with the resolve? Like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's one of those things where it's like, we mentioned this a couple times before, but once you start getting into the mid and the late game, that's when the Abyss deck really starts to really starts to shine. If you don't have the Necro Charge, if you have like sub Necro Charge 10, it can be a little bit awkward. But once you start getting to 10, it gets crazy. Like things get kind of wild. And you saw that with just the 1-drop Ilgano bringing out the 3-drop Wretch, immediately evolving it, dealing the 5, getting the Storm. It's just like tons of crazy value.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it reflects well on our game that a lot of the top decks right now are very skill intensive. Like, there's these two obviously, but like not to discount Thief Sword as well.
Yeah,
which has a lot of
we'll probably see that today as well. Thief Sword is for an aggressive deck that you're just like, oh, play dudes turn sideways. No, it's actually more complicated than that.
Genuinely.
Especially when you get the ability to play your opponent's cards from your Thief stuff, it can get kind of wild. And also really fun. It's a really fun deck to play because you get to play your opponent's cards.
All right.
But yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome. Once again, congrats to Reedy for winning that round. And now for you in the chat, we have another trivia question for y'all. Lock in and get your answers. How much increased attack and defense points do Super Evolved followers get? Is it A, +3/+3, B, +1/+1, or C, +5/+5? Type your answers in the chat right now for a chance to win some points, and then you can, if you're on the top of the leaderboard, those points then go towards potentially a prize for you in the chat. So make sure to get your answers in before we come back from the next break, and we'll have the reveal once we're back for round 3. But from us to you, stay right here. We'll be back for round 3 in just a short little while from now.
How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to the Bushiroad Championship Series World Finals for Shadowverse Evolve. My name is Kel, and I am joined, once again, by my co-caster, Ignitius.
Yeah, it would be concerning if you weren't joined by me.
Absolutely.
I'm just somewhere else.
Absolutely. He's just off, just kind of like checking everything out, watching the players.
That's right. We're about to head into round 3 here, Kel, with two pretty strong players, I have to say. One of them is the hero from the Philippines, Rhinox, who is, I've met him a couple times when I was competing in a couple events, and he's extremely strong, and he's really carrying the Philippines community on his back, so I really appreciate that, of course. And the other player, G. Gordon, won the Rosemont Regionals. So,
oh, yeah, the NA Rosemont.
Yeah, two really strong players up ahead. But first, before we get into the match, we got to reveal, of course, the answer to the trivia question. All right, so at the end of last round, of course, before the break, we asked the chat a question. What did you answer? The question was, how much increased attack and defense points do Super Evolved followers get? Is it +3/+3, +1/+1, or +5/+5? And of course, the answer is B.
It's a little bit of a trick question. Because if you play Worlds Beyond, you might think it is A.
That's right. Yeah, in Worlds Beyond, it is +3/+3. But here, it's +1/+1 on top of whatever stats you get from the regular evolution. So that is how it works. So if you answered B in the chat, congratulations. You just got yourself some points for the leaderboard, which you can then use for some nice prizes later at the end of the stream, I believe. In fact, let's take a look at the leaderboard right now. We should have it up. Where are people at? Ooh,
we could see some deviation here, right?
Yeah, some people are starting to fall off, but still a lot of perfects, to be honest.
Yeah, eight perfects so far. Yeah, just keep at it. Once again, we're going to be doing this for the rest of the day. So I think the players who are the most consistent at this, obviously, will be the ones, to walk away with some playmats and booster boxes.
And I got to say, shout-outs to everybody in the chat who is engaging with the stream so fervently. It's awesome to see everybody basically at the highest level of points. So, hey, if you're enjoying the stream, we got to give a huge shout-out to production as well for getting all this together. So, yeah, show your appreciation, guys. And now let's get into the next round. Once again, it is Rhinox versus G. Gordon. Rhinox is on Dragoncraft, and it's probably 7 cost. Like,
7 cost Dragon is kind of like, it's not the boogeyman because we have 4 extremely solid decks that we know have a pretty wide representation.
I guess you could call it one of the 4 horsemen then.
Yes, exactly. So very likely 7 cost, but we have a deck that's not one of those 4, right? We have Havencraft.
I believe there's only 6 players total today who are playing Havencraft. And it's weird because there's so many different viable builds for it. We're immediately seeing the Oracle Think Tank card from the Cardfight Vanguard set come out on the turn 1. Goddess of the Crescent Moon, Tsukuyomi. What's good about this card is that it lets you arrange sort of the top of your deck to make sure that you have good top decks going into it, which is important because, I mean, the most popular variant of Haven right now is more aggressive, so being able to just make sure you always have the best possible top deck is a great play. And also, it's just good stats for a 1-drop at 2/1 that can just threaten some aggression as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This kind of like the Wasteland version of Haven typically does run a bunch of low drops, right?
Yeah, true.
We'll see how this deck actually ends up playing out, and it could be a pretty interesting matchup versus the 7-drop Dragon, which I would describe the 7-drop Dragon as, you hear the name and you're like, oh, it doesn't do anything until turn 7. No. They have a ton of cards that are low, like this one, which synergizes with cards that actually care about discarding cards. So I think about this deck kind of more like a discard value deck. There's a lot of cards that discard themselves plus another 7 cost to get a lot of value, or you get value out of discarding stuff.
And not to mention the Celestial Dragoon, like you said, is a low cost that also can try and find a nice card from the top of your deck, but also whenever something is discarded, it can also engage to draw a card again. So it's a really great engine for that.
Card draw engines are very good. Very good. I like a drawing card draw.
I agree.
But no, this card's really good. This is actually like an optimal turn 1 play for the 7-cost deck.
Very nice also to get the Zahar from the top. Now, of course, Zahar, when he's discarded, also is able to pull a card from the top of the deck. So just try and get yourself the best quality hand possible, and very crucially, dig for Burn Knight, right? And I also just noticed that I think Rhinox is playing Burn Knight sleeves as well, so he's
very, very on brand and on theme. Oh, we have a Jean. I kind of like colloquially just call this Dark Jean. But this is
the second version of Dark Jean. It's Jean Despair's Maiden. That's right. So this one reduces your own defense, but it also just destroys an enemy follower that costs 2 or less. And it has a pretty crazy evolve effect too, but it costs 5 to evolve it. Yeah. What's important is that there's so many Jeans these days that there are Jeans that care about having other Jeans. So.
Yeah.
Oh, we're seeing, exactly like you said, Cal, one of the cards that can be played for a cheaper cost in order to discard something. The Orb Cancer is also going to draw a card, but also discarding the Wildfire Tyrannosaur. And then the Wildfire Tyrannosaur, when it's discarded, you can pay 1 to then deal 3 to an enemy follower. So all the cards really come together in a nice synergistic package here.
Yep, absolutely. Discard the crab, draw 2, and then have the dino chip in for a little bit of damage.
Crabs, dinos, it's a whole zoo over here.
Yeah, and they're all like high-cost cards, but you get a lot of value out of it.
And it's an awesome zoo where the main players are crabs and dinosaurs. I've never seen a zoo like that, but maybe one day.
Yeah, so here we see this this Paladin, the Lunarian Paladin. That's kind of an unassuming card. It's a 2/2 with Ward on Evolve, and you look at the top 4 of your deck, and then you can summon a follower that's 2 or less from among them, put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is why setting up cards with that Oracle Think Tank is really, really important, because you can kind of set them up to hit off of the Lunarian Paladin.
That's right. I mean, that's the thing in Shadowverse in general. There's a lot of cards that like say, hey, look at the top 5, then pick 1 out of them. So being able to sort of manipulate that draw is really, really important, especially with a deck that wants to curve out a lot, like I assume this Havencraft does want to do. Yeah. And another Tsukuyomi hits the field, as we were just saying.
just chain them together. And we're going to get the fanfare on that, so we can kind of like sculpt the next 3 once again. I would be willing to wager that we're running like a full play set of that Paladin. I think it's a pretty key card in this archetype. Typically, this deck runs a bunch of like 2 and 1 drops, and just being able to hit off the Paladin is really important to keep up the value.
It's also kind of hard to nail down what the deck is, especially in a closed deck list format, because you see a bunch of these cards and you think, oh, it's an Oracle Think Tank-based deck. But no, actually, it might be a lot of the cards in Haven are very splashable in different archetypes as well. So we actually have no clue what Gordon is running right now, even though we're already on turn 3 of the game.
One of my big predictions going into this event was I did predict we'd see some Wasteland Haven. It's a deck that did pretty well in the Japanese meta, and I imagine a lot of players were probably looking to it as like a Haven deck to play if you were like someone who really likes to play Haven. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of similarities between like that more typical like Wasteland build and then what we're seeing here from Gordon.
I guess we'll have to find out. There's no Wasteland cards that hit the field yet, but of course, like I said, it's so splashable.
Yeah.
A lot of the Haven cards are like individually good in the vacuum.
You say Wasteland, but it's like not all Wasteland,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like you have the Jeans. We already saw one Jean. He's probably running some more Jeans.
I am such a huge fan of this tech.
Bro, Apollo just so good here.
So Apollo is a new card from the New World Genesis set that does 1 to all enemies, including the face, and then when you evolve him, he does it again. Which is very similar to what he does in the digital game in Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. But in Dragon in particular, it's such a good connective tissue tool to get from the early turns to the late game turns. Because when they board flood and you don't have an answer to that, then you're, well, as the kids say, you're cooked. So having the Apollo be an option to be able to help you get into late game turns where you can finally get the Burn Knight on and then heal with the Burn Knight, then you're cooking with gas, right? But until you get there, how do you get there? Well, Apollo is the answer.
Yeah, that was like the perfect play here. And here we have another Jean, as
here
we
go.
mentioned.
Maybe we should call it Jean Haven.
Yeah, Jean Haven.
So this Jean is Beacon of Salvation. It draws a card, and if there are at least 2 followers of Jean in their name in your cemetery, give this follower +1/+1 and Storm. So of course that crucially works with the Despair's Maiden that we previously saw. And on Evolve, it's pretty strong too. It also just summons a Haven follower that costs 2 or less from your hand.
Yep. So once again, that's why that 2 or less really matters with this deck. You really want to run a lot of 2 or less followers. Synergizes with the Paladin. The Jean will not have the Storm because there's only the one previous Jean in the cemetery, but still, good value here on turn 4.
I mean, getting the Meowskers out to just do some chip as well. Just an easy Storm that just comes out of the hand. And again, very enigmatic deck building. Oh, it's a Natura card, it's a Jean card, it's a Wasteland card, it's a whatever is going on in this.
Good cards that just kind of really, really work together.
Exactly.
And so now 7 Cost Dragon has kind of they're not staring down a super threatening board. So this could be a turn where they could kind of like set up and help advance their play further.
I mean, this is a really easy clear though, right? Because if you just are able to discard the Azure Flame, you can just deal the 4 to the Jean. And again, crucially, you get the cards in your cemetery. And the Azure Flame discarded the Zahar, so then the Zahar can then pull another Azure Flame.
Another Azure Flame here.
And this is how it gets rolling, right? The ball gets rolling. And then once you have that critical mass of 7+ in your drop, in the cemetery, suddenly the Burn Knight comes online and things get very, very difficult for the other player.
Yeah, Burn Knight is one of the big key cards for this deck. It's one that you're definitely going to want to keep an eye out for. It's one of the brand new cards, and it's very strong. It costs 7, but kind of. It does have a cost reduction if you have 4.
It pretty much costs 5. Let's be real.
Yeah, if you have 4 dragon cards in your cemetery that cost 7 or more, it costs 5. And it itself is a 5/5 with a powerful fanfare effect as well as a powerful Evo effect, and it just does a lot.
And a powerful super evolve effect. Let's not forget. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't really seen super Evo effects come into play yet this tournament, but don't discount it. It's very, very powerful.
I think it'll become very relevant. Oh, and very strong play from Rhinox getting the Dracomancer's rights onto the field.
Yeah, I was like, we're just waiting for this, right? That just gives you so much extra value for all of the discard that you're doing.
Because you're discarding every turn anyway, so why not just deal some damage for free, right?
Yeah, it's a card that's been around like basically since Shadowverse Evolve has been out, and we've seen it play like, you know, every now and then it just kind of pops up. It's a really, really powerful card that just gives you a ton of advantage over time.
I think crucially as well, in the Japanese format, Dracomancer's Rights got Hall of Famed, so this is maybe in English, the uncertain future for Dracomancer's Rights. Let's take advantage of it while we can, hey?
Yeah, it's one of the cards that it's kind of a linchpin of this deck. It just makes everything work well, like so well together, and helps you get into that late game. And if you don't know what it does, by the way, it's just a simple little amulet that's a 3-cost. Fanfare, you discard a card and heal 1, but also at the start of your end phase, if you discarded a card this turn, you can select anything on your opponent's field, follower or leader, and you deal 2 damage. And that kind of like compounds if you want to go big and have like multiple copies of this on the field. Dealing 4 damage a turn just from discards can really, really add up.
Yeah, it's an amazing card, and you know, while you have it, let's play it.
Yeah.
I think Sword is feeling the same way with Armor of the Stars, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an unassuming card, right? You look at it and you're like, you know, it's just an amulet that's just kind of chilling there, but
yeah,
the damage can really, really add up.
I think you will find that it is assuming. So
yes.
Do not sleep.
And so we have a big turn here for Gordon, right? You have nothing on the field. You need to establish a board presence. Especially, you can't, basically what I'm trying to say is you can't let the 7-cost dragon just kind of like chill.
Yeah.
Because they can just absolutely run away with the game.
And if you don't apply enough pressure, they can heal all the way back up too with cards like Pumpkin Dragon as well.
Yep. That's a hilarious card, by the way.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, it also kind of unassuming, kind of silly looking Pumpkin Dragon, but it is
but it is assuming.
It is a monster. it is a monster. So Gordon here a little bit in the tank.
I think it's a little awkward, the turn 5 for Havencraft, just in general right now in this set, so it's hard to find a good play.
I do see a Jean in hand, potentially.
But only 2 Jeans in their drop, so this Jean still wouldn't get Storm, right? Unfortunately.
Let's see.
Oh, wait, no, it would.
I think you just need 2. I think you need 2 exactly.
Yeah, you only need 2. Yeah, okay. That's already a great play. So the Jean will come down, and it's going to get Storm right away.
Yeah, it'll get Storm. It'll replace this up with a draw.
And it gets +1/+1 as well.
Now, it depends on how many EVO copies he's running in the EVO deck here, whether or not we can actually even EVO. Keep in mind, for Shadowverse Evolve, your EVO deck is limited to just 10 cards. Yeah. And in a deck like this that's fairly complex, that runs a lot of different followers that have EVO abilities, those slots are really, really contested.
Right. We've already seen the Lunarian Paladin. We've seen the Dark Jean, as you say. We've seen the regular Jean now. How much slots do you even have for this is the question. I guess we'll have to see. So and I find that to be the hardest deck building challenge a lot of the time, Kel, when I'm building my decks. Is how do I fit all the things I want in my Evolve deck?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And typically, like some of the decks that I was looking at going into this event, they don't run like a full 3 of the Evo Jean. So
yeah,
a lot of them run like 2 or 1. So the question here is, are we running the additional? So we do have one.
We do have one more at least.
We do have the Evo here. So that this will be extra value from hand.
Yep. So this is going to be a 4/5 that also summons a follower from hand. The Revolver Eagle also has Storm. This is one of those decks where every card has Storm. And then the Revolver Eagle also puts a Bullet Bike into the EX. And then, now that the Jean can attack, it can actually buff up the Revolver Eagle by +1 attack as well on strike. So really nice combo here, representing 7 damage basically out of nowhere.
Yeah, the Revolver Eagle is a pretty interesting card. It does have this effect. It's not going to happen this turn, but it does have this kind of just cheeky little effect. If you can pay 6 and give it +4/+4, it can kind of like deal some damage in the late game. I imagine it'll likely get dealt with before that happens, but just want to keep that in mind.
All right, going straight to the dome. Rhinox kind of on the ropes now.
Yeah, I mean, like you can't. Once again, you can't let this dragon deck keep accruing all this value.
It can even be another 1 damage, right? If you play the Bullet Bike and use it on the Eagle, because the Eagle is a Wasteland, so it would get the +1 attack.
That's true.
So it could be another 4, bringing the dragon down to 6 defense.
That is a scary place to be. And as we already said, there's a lot of Storm in this Haven deck. A lot of people think of Storm as like a really defensive, slow deck, but no, dude, there's a lot of Storm.
Oh, Haven, you mean? Yeah. I think it is definitely the case. You got to be careful.
It's kind of considering potentially using the bike here.
I think what's the consideration? I guess if you save the bike, you can use it to rush something on the next.
Potentially, yeah. I think you are probably considering like, okay, what's the best case scenario for my opponent on their next turn, right? We're only going into turn 5. Not a ton of play points available, for the opponent on turn 5, right?
Yeah, but there's already 5 available. No, there's already 4 or more 7 costs in the drop,
so you
right?
you need
so you can just
4
play
for the
Burn
Burn
Knight.
Knight.
Yeah, you
Yep.
can just play Burn Knight on 5. The only problem with playing Burn Knight on 5 is that you're not able to super evolve yet. So you're unable to get the heal 5. So you might want to save the Burn Knight for turn 6, but can you last that long is the question.
Yeah, I mean, you would still get the fanfare effect, but you also just wouldn't be able to regular Evo either. Oh wait, no, he does have 1 Evo point, so he could regular Evo.
I think the best case scenario for Rhinox is to find any other source of healing, like and save the Burn Knight for the turn 6 so that you can super it. Is there another form of healing in the deck that he can pull out though?
Potentially. I mean, Dragon's got ways to do that.
Yeah, of course we have Pumpkin Dragon, like you
mentioned
earlier.
Yeah.
I think a lot of decks are also playing some of the Gildenlease as well.
That would make sense.
I guess we'll find out.
He's got a pretty big hand here. 6 cards I'm seeing. It's hard to tell exactly what these cards are.
Use your mind. Use your specialized Legolas.
And I'm like, do I see a Pumpkin Dragon? Maybe? Is that a Pumpkin Dragon? I don't know.
I don't know. Even Pumpkin Dragon's kind of tough here because that's kind of a tempo loss. It is Gildenlease.
All right.
That is the best answer here, I believe, because it's not only able to deal with the enemy board, but also gains Drain because Rhinox is below 10 defense.
Yeah.
So we are going to be able to heal up while dealing with the board. So Revolver Eagle gets taken out by the Evolve effect, and this is going to swing into the Jean and just heal up massively. That's a huge deal to keep yourself alive so that you can play the Burn Knight Super Evolve for the turn 6 play.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that was exactly you said. I think that was like the optimal play here. Still 2 play points remaining, so we can still discard from hand.
Pumpkin Dragon!
So we get Pumpkin Dragon, we get the heal. We're also going to trigger the Dracomancer's right at the end of turn as well.
True, yes. So this Apollo can now go to the face, and the Dracomancer is going to be the one to take out the Jean.
That was a huge life point swing.
Really beautiful executed turn from Rhinox. And we know that there's... Oh, we don't know, actually. But I guess if there is a Burn Knight in there... I just kind of assumed this whole time that he had one.
Yeah, the whole...
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell if the Burn Knight is in hand.
Yeah. But
if you're playing against this deck, you just got to assume, right? You're like, yeah, they got the Burn Knight.
But if it's there, it can super next turn, because going second, you can have super evolve on turn 6. So
yeah.
This is going to be, yet again, Rhinox might even just heal straight up back up to 4.
Oh, yeah. The Burn Knight on Super Evo heals another 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
This is why they freed my boy Shenlong. Because they saw Burn Knight and they're like, hey, listen, Shenlong, you can come out now.
yeah, you're okay. You're okay.
Amazing card. Now, finally, the namesake of Wasteland Abyss comes out. This is Rana Dual Cannon Abyss. It's a card that came out in the New World Genesis set. And if you're familiar with Truthseeker Faust for Earthright Runecraft back in the day, it's essentially a similar effect, where it can pull a total cost of 6 from your deck into your EX area and make them cost 0.
It's wild, actually.
And very importantly is that Selena is often the target because it's a Storm card that has Strike, recover 2 play points, and it's also going to be able to pull Revolver Eagle.
Yep.
So the amount of damage is starting to stack up quite a bit here. Not only that, but Selena's Fanfare also is able to pull a Wasteland from the top of the deck into the EX area as well. So, yeah, the amount of recovery here, you can get the Revolver Eagle out for free, you can get the Selena out for free, and then you can pull something off the Selena, and then you can get that out as well. So
yeah, Selena's like a ton of value.
Oh, like, yeah, not only that, but
she has a Wasteland card and a follower, 2 or less followers.
Yes, true as well.
Yeah.
And not only that, but Rana can also just deal 1 to the enemy board as well.
Yeah, Rana does like a full board ping for, I think it's just a 0
cost.
Zero cost activation, yeah.
Once per turn.
It's a very strong.
Oh yeah, and Rana gets a bullet bike.
Sure, why not?
Oh wait, did Rana get the bullet bike from the fanfare there? Because that bullet bike was there from the previous turn. I think he should have 1 more bullet bike, if I'm not mistaken.
He might have cracked the bullet bike on the previous turn.
I don't believe so, because the Revolver Eagle only attacked for 3. So I think he might.
Right.
I think he might have another bullet bike on field right now. Not entirely sure though. We got to check the replay on that.
Rana does summon a bullet bike.
Yeah.
You can read her whole text, but she does say at the very end of it,
yeah,
summon a bullet bike token.
So I think he might have one, but I'm not sure. The bullet bike token maybe was supposed to be summoned from the Rana there. Because I think the Revolver Eagle did attack only for 3, right? Which is the buff from the Jean, not from the bullet bike.
I think you are right.
Yeah. So there might need to be an extra bullet bike on field right now, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to say for certain, but...
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely debating whether cracking the bullet bike or not.
Yeah.
So here we do see the Selena come into play, and then she also is going to pull.
Is that a Meijiro card?
Yeah, she's gonna pull a 2-drop. That's the 1-drop Meijiro. Meijiro Palmer. This is another one that has Storm, by the way. This is an Uma Musume card that has Storm, and then it doesn't refresh during your end phase, but at the start of your main phase, you can pay 1 and then refresh it. It's a very interesting card, but generally in this deck, it's just like a really good aggressive Storm card. So we do see the Eagle coming on and immediately just jamming in. We have a lot of Storm damage. Let's see.
All right, that's Haven Fire as well. A great pull from the Selena.
Yes. So that is going to clean up board here.
And Meijiro for another huge swing.
Yep, another 2. So we saw the life go like from, what was it, 6 to 15?
Then 15 to 7.
And then down 15 to 7, right?
Yeah, but now this board might just get cleared by Burnites.
If Burnite's in hand, we already kind of mentioned it a little bit, but Burnite does a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
That card has like an absolute essay just written on it. Part of it is healing 5, but it also just kills stuff, man. Let me so Burnite, not only does it cost 5 to play if you have the 4 or more 7-drop dragon cards, but on Fanfare, it looks like we're gonna go another Dracomancer. So not a Burnite turn, We'll save that for later. So we have Dracomancers with a discard here.
Oh yeah, and an Azure Flame as well.
So that one is going to clean up board here.
Yeah, and then we even have the Dracomancer still to ping off the rest.
So yeah, that was Dracomancer's discard as the flame, and then we have end of turn double 2 damage from both of the Dracomancers.
I don't think Haven can do 7 out of hand. So wait, unless it maybe can. It maybe can.
Well, for 7 play points, how many cards does Gordon have?
Well,
in
I mean,
hand?
I saw a Meijiro card earlier.
So there's the one Meijiro card that we already saw, the 1-drop 2/1 Storm. There are cards that exist in Shadowverse that synergize with this. We have 4 cards in hand. I mean, I don't think it's inconceivable that we have close to 7 Storm. Are we determining how many bullet bikes are on the field?
I think we were determining how many bullet bikes.
Yeah, I'm like looking at this, and looking at the judge off to the side. I think we may have you may have called it correctly on the previous turn.
I don't want to say for certain because I don't want to stall anything if it's not necessary, but I think it might have been.
Yeah, I think we're seeing here.
Yeah.
But we're just kind of like running through and confirming everything that was done. So we're just gonna take a moment here as the judge kind of clarifies everything for the players.
Because there was a bullet bike from the previous turn. From the Revolver Eagle from the previous turn.
Correct.
And then the Rana as well summons a bullet bike. So I don't think I saw that, but maybe I'm mistaken.
And so yeah, it looks like
so there should be another bullet bike.
It looks like we have a bullet bike on field, I think is what it's representing.
Yes, and I don't.
One field, one. Is that the other one? EX?
Yeah, the one field. The other one from the EX is from the other Revolver Eagle that we got recently. Yeah. I think this is correct. Okay, it's great. And the sequencing doesn't matter as much because you can crack the bullet back whenever.
Exactly.
And he cracked the bullet back on the Revolver Eagle.
You can't really board lock yourself with it because you can just crack it. But so I think it was just clarifying what's accurate board state here.
I think that works just fine. And then he's gonna now. We're getting back into the game. He's gonna now on turn 7 play Selena out of hand this time, and trying to pull from the top.
So once again, Selena does have Storm. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, and the bullet bikes can buff her because she is a Wasteland.
Yep, absolutely. And so we do have her Fanfare. This is the one where you look at the top 4, and you can pull any Wasteland and then a 2-cost follower.
Is that another Meijiro?
That is another Meijiro. That's the 2/1 Storm.
Meijiro Palmer, Moonlight Devil, and then a little musical note.
So, let's see. You're going to contemplate swinging in with...
Does it not pull a Wasteland?
Maybe he whiffed.
Maybe whiff?
Maybe whiffed. Yeah, it's any Wasteland, but we've already seen like a large variety of cards in the deck, so it's, once again...
Yeah, like it's Wasteland, it's Meijiro, it's Ward, it's John. And, Rivalian Bandit is a Wasteland! And that is going to be able to gain Storm from the bullet bikes as well.
Double bullet bike. So it's going to get the pump and the Storm, and we have the Evo
and
on top of this.
And the Evolve as well.
Wait a minute, is this lethal?
It might just be.
Igni, is this lethal? Did we count to 7 here?
Also, they have the Super Evolve available to give it another +1/+1.
Yeah, they do have the Super Evo.
So that's 5 attack, and that is exact lethal.
That's exact lethal. And that is this. I was going to call it Wasteland Haven. I'm not even sure what you want to call this
Meijiro.
Meijiro Wasteland Haven.
Hybrid. Let's call it Hybrid
John.
Haven and leave it at that, eh?
Yeah. this Wild Haven deck coming in and taking out one of the widely considered to be top decks of the format.
Yeah, but we were talking about this earlier, Cal. I think it has a target on its back, and people are indexing on it. That's the problem. That's the problem with 7-cost right now, is that it has that it's probably going to be #1, kind of.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those situations where the 7-cost deck just really needed Burn-Knight.
Yeah.
Didn't draw the Burn-Knight.
Real,
and
yeah.
Sometimes, in a game where you have a finite number of copies in your deck, you just don't draw it.
Also, we saw Rhinox just quickly show the camera that he had Sharon in hand as well. So if he was able to live to the next turn, he would have had a lot of recovery. But unfortunately, I think the aggro decks were a good call into this, because I think it's a good matchup relatively into Abyss.
I think so.
And against Dragon as well, as we saw there.
Yeah.
So the players who are playing the more aggressive decks, like Sekka Beast, like whatever that Haven was.
Yeah, that's a sweet deck.
Ends up maybe it was the right meta call. Pretty cool to see. Like I said, like the meta's way wider than people are giving it credit for. I've been saying that since the beginning.
The Haven deck, by the way, is now 3-0.
Yeah.
At the World Championship.
Yeah,
that's kind of
truly
crazy. That's
amazing.
Crazy.
Again, like we keep saying this, but like you can see the evidence for yourself on the screen. The meta is way wider than people think, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's super interesting. It's very cool. I mean, we haven't even seen Sword yet today, right?
Right.
And that's another major player in the field. So
100%.
Yeah, I think exactly as Igni said, the meta is pretty open, and seeing stuff like this, I'm not going to call it a rogue deck, because I kind of predict that we'd see some variation of Haven. I felt like Haven had some...
it's got some sauce. It's got some juice.
Some sauce. That's a good way to put it. It's got some sauce in this meta. So kind of cool to see it come into play here, especially kind of like this hybrid spicy brew with like the Uma cards kind of like took me for a loop, right? I've checked out a lot of versions of this deck, and I've seen some of the Jeans are pretty common. You see the Wasteland side of stuff, but the Uma tech is really interesting, especially because it's like a low 1-drop 2/1 with Storm, right? It's just super low to the ground.
It just works with everything. Works with the Selena pull. It works with the Jean pull.
Exactly, the Paladin. Anything that cares about like 2 or less. Yeah, it just works really well.
Really cool. Well, guys, that is the end of round 3, meaning we are halfway through our Swiss rounds, but we still have 3 more to go, so I want you to stay tuned for sure. And, of course, we also have this round's trivia question. So make sure to answer this in the chat during the break. Which 2 characters are featured in the box toppers for booster set Convergent Destinies? Is it Baphomet and Aishilindrig, Latika and Mono, or Orisa and Erica? Answer in the chat A, B, or C, and let's see if you get it right. We'll reveal the answer once we come back from the break. That being said, that is it for round 3, and we'll be back with round 4 right after this. Do not go anywhere.
Yeah. See you then.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bushiroad Championship Series 25-26 World Finals for Shadowverse Evolve. I'm your host, Ignatius. With me, as always, my co-host, Kel. We're about to enter round 4. We are halfway through the Swiss rounds here at the World Finals, and I think we can start taking a look at the leaderboards as well for the current Swiss. So we're seeing, G. Gordon, who we just saw, is 3-0 with Haven right now, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
A couple of other familiar names here as well. Boomy at 3-0, Brian M at 3-0, Kira, Excel, Nova TCG. So all these are at 3-0, and then at the 10th there, Yo Fuzzy 3. So starting to get a couple of people who are taking hits to their record, but still, man, a lot of players still going very, very strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, we are only halfway through the day, or at least halfway through the Swiss rounds, right? Because we still have the cut to the top 8.
That's right.
So we got a lot more Shadowverse to see and watch today, and potentially some more exciting and like I want to say off-meta decks that are surprisingly doing pretty well so far.
Well, this next round does have a player that I am personally acquainted with, because I have my record against him is 0 wins to like 10 losses whenever I play against him. So.
Honestly, yeah, it's not a great record.
Well, I mean, that's why he's a competitor now.
Right, exactly.
So I'm really excited to watch this next game. But first, we got to say, what's the answer to that quiz that we did? So, of course, guys, you answer the quiz in the chat during the break, and if you get it right, you get some points that you can get from, you can use for merch. So, let's take a look here. Which 2 characters are featured in the box toppers for booster set Convergent Destinies? Is it A, Baphomet and Aishilindrig, B, Latika and Mono, or C, Orisa and Erica? And, of course, it is, drumroll please, Bum 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 bum.
Let's see.
Arissa and Erica. And it's kind of a beautiful send-off, right? With Shadowverse Classic characters being the Vox toppers for this, so you love to see it.
Yeah.
Everybody who answered C in the chat, you get a couple points for your leaderboards for the... do we have the leaderboards for the point totals as well? We got plenty of leaderboards. We got the leaderboards for the competitors.
All the leaderboards.
And then the chat's also competing.
Ooh. Now we see some divergence. Look at this.
Yeah, now we're starting to see who are the real ball knowers.
Exactly.
Lionheart, SVVG, and Akaino Code, both at 205. Crazy stuff. Love to see it. There you go.
Yeah. So, once again, we're doing this all day, so we will see how these shake out, over the next few rounds and into the finals. And as you mentioned, we have someone that you are very familiar with playing.
Yeah.
We do know what deck they're playing, or at least what craft they're playing, right?
Yeah, very much not surprising at all. So the person I'm referring to is Yazki from Indonesia, from my locals. He's very much known for being Forestcraft, probably the best Forestcraft player in the country, probably.
Okay.
And meanwhile, Wonton on the other side playing Uma Musume Pretty Derby.
Is this the only Uma player here?
I gotta check, but it's one of very few. Yeah.
Yes. So that is, first of all, very cool to see. But even more so, we have them, at the top table here, which is going to be an interesting matchup.
One of two.
One of two, okay. So there are a couple of ways you can actually take this Uma Musume deck. You can do this 7 more centimeters deck that has a lot of cemetery interactions. It's one of the decks that I really liked and I played. You also have an aggro variant. You have a couple different ways to play Uma, so it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out here. And then, of course, here we see a little bit of a different take on Forest, right? We see immediately fairies.
Yes, so Yaski's best deck is fairies. He plays fairies basically all the time, and he wins every event. So
sure, okay.
It's really not surprising to me that he ended up bringing fairies to this World Tournament, especially since fairies got a lot of great support in New World Genesis.
Yes, it did.
With the new Aria that might be showing up in this list.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
not sure,
the
but
one-drop Aria,
yes,
right?
Yes,
yeah.
And also a bunch of other support. And essentially what you do is you just buff up your fairies, make them very, very, very large, because you can also buff them up even when they're in the EX area, meaning that it's kind of uninteractable for your opponent to even be able to do anything about it. And then once you have, an Amatas to buff them up even more, and then you have a Cynthia, which can give them Storm.
Yeah,
so
that's the big key part, right? you want to buff them up huge and then play them with Storm.
Yeah. And here, the buffing has started, and we're seeing a card that's from, I believe, set 1.
It is.
It is Titania Sanctuary, which gives Pixies +1/+1. So we're already seeing the Fairy Onslaught here, and the Fairy will trade into the opposing Uma Musume.
Yeah, it looks like you use some Make Some Noise to kind of take out that Fairy here. So we see both Lamplet and Make Some Noise. My guess for this deck is the more spell focused 7 more centimeters kind of thing, because this kind of deck just wants to play a ton of removal. You play all of the cantrips, all of the low drop Uma cards that draw you a card, and you also play a lot of the low drop cards that just deal damage.
It is shaken out that way, and also the fact that the ramp variant Uma I don't believe plays this many one-cost spells.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But it's hard to tell. Looking at hand, I think I did catch a glimpse of yes, we have Hishi Miracle. So yeah, this is definitely a more graveyard synergy. So this one will bear the top 2 cards of your deck, and if their base costs are the same, you get a draw card. But more importantly, you just want to put a ton of Uma cards into your cemetery with this variant of the deck. So we have an Evo here. The top part of the Evo says a bunch of stuff. We don't actually care about that. All we care about is the on evolve. You discard 2 Uma cards, and then you draw 2 cards. And like I said,
okay, well that kind of cements that this is a 7 more centimeters.
Yeah,
deck.
for the 7 more centimeters deck, you just want to put cards in your bin and then draw cards. And so the number here that you want to count up to for 7 more centimeters in particular is 20.
Yeah.
You want to get 20, and then you can actually play it. And essentially what the card does is it kills all your opponent's stuff, makes them discard, and you draw. And if you can do that multiple times, it's basically game over, because you basically take out everything that they have, with the exception of their EX area, which could be a very important factor in this.
That could be the factor, right? If 7 more centimeters is wiping Yaski's board every single time, well, you can't wipe the EX, and if you just safely buff up the fairies in the back and then bring them out when you actually have the kill turn, that could be the factor here. That being said, I will say, Yaski already making a massive board very early here on turn 3. Not only is the Titania Sanctuary making a bunch of fairies get +1/+1, and a sail, actually, we forgot to mention earlier. But there's a ton of great fairy generation that came out in the recent sets. Like we just saw in the previous turn, we saw Intertwined Resolve, which is able to summon 2 of them. And here we see the evil Aria Miasma Fairy.
This is the 1-drop Aria. Yeah.
No, this is the 3-drop one.
Oh, no, this is the one that came out, yes.
Yeah, so this one, each Pixie token has Rush, and it even activates even when it's in the EX area. So this effect, even if it's in the EX area, gives all Pixies Rush.
Oh, yes. So this is the one that also has the last words, and it just goes back into EX.
It just goes back in the back.
It's kind of like the Ilgano. Oh, yeah.
It can't be played from the back, but it just will always passively give the fairies that option. Combo that with the Titanias giving them a sail, and then the Uma player is not going to be able to keep a board either. So that's pretty scary. And then, of course, on Evolve, it also just summons an amulet from your deck that costs 2 or less. So it can actually pull out the Titanias as well if you were looking for it. But crucially, it also can pull out Tree of Wonders, which puts a fairy into your EX, and then also is able to draw 3 cards, or draw 2 cards if you have 3 Pixies. So it's also a draw engine there. So lots of great synergies in this deck, just with all the Pixies. Oh, it actually did. It pulled out the Tree of Wonders, as I said. So there you go. It can't quite pop yet, because I believe you need 3 Pixies for the Tree of Wonders to pop. So it can't get the draw 2 yet, and there's only 2 in the EX at the moment. But it very quickly will become a draw engine for Yasuki as well.
All right. So we have a clear board on Wonton's side. Is it 3 cards in hand?
I can't quite see.
And counting up number of cards in Cemetery. Not a ton here yet.
3 in Wonton's hand, 2 in Yasuki's. But again, Yasuki will get 2 cards off the Tree of Wonders soon as well.
Ooh, okay, so this is a nice one to play here in this type of situation,
that's a certified classic.
Yeah. So this is the Agnes Tachyon. This one does a lot of work here. So this one says whenever you play a spell, you can select an enemy follower on the field and give it -1/-1. But more importantly, when you Evo, you can actually take a spell from your cemetery and you add it to your hand. So you can kind of double down on this and get a lot of value out of this. You want to get some removal here, and then it helps with the -1/-1. Or you can get some card draw, so you can get some gas and refill your hand.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the EX crossover set that supports the original Uma Musuma set added so many 1-cost spells that synergize super well with Agnes Tachyon.
Yeah, there's a lot of 1-cost spells that just draw a card. Yeah. Basically, they do some other stuff, but they also just draw a card, which is really, really nice here. So it looks like we're going to be getting back. Oh, that was another
there's
card
7
draw
centimeters
here. So we're going to get -1/-1. Is it going to be enough to finish it off here?
And that is a 7 more centimeters.
I think it was just a -1/-1. So yeah,
yes,
the fairies just shrunk back down.
So with 7 more centimeters in hand, usually with this deck, if you're turboing with, say, Manhattan Cafe and Hishi Miracle, how fast can you usually get the 7 centimeters online, do you think?
It really depends on what you can line up. It's not really on curve. I would say it's closer to 6, 7, and 8, turn 6, 7, 8, depending on what you can get. But it's definitely doable. You think 20 is hard to get to? It's a little bit challenging, but you can definitely get there. And a lot of the game is just kind of going through the motions, wiping your opponent's board, and then just filling up your cemetery for that. And we have a Sweep Tosho here, which can kind of help with that, right? So this card costs 2 less to play if there's at least 5 Uma spells in your cemetery. So it can be a card that you can play for free. And then on Fanfare, you can select a 1-cost Uma spell in your cemetery, and you put it into your EX area. And then it also costs 1 less to play on the turn. So this one just synergizes extremely well with Agnes Tachyon.
Meanwhile, on Yasuki's side, look at that. Because the Aria was sent back to the EX, it actually activates the Tree of Wonder, letting him draw 2 cards at the start of the turn, which is fantastic. And now he has such a huge hand to figure out what he wants to spend his 5 play points on.
That is an interesting interaction. Sweep Tosho by herself, by the way, is just a 0/1. So she's not super threatening after she's already on the field. She's going to kind of hang out until maybe we can make more use of her later.
Potentially, yeah. All right.
3 cards in hand for Wonton. Yasuki did, like you said, you did the card draw. So he's sitting with a little bit of a bigger grip here. Going into 5 play points. I mean, this fairy deck can be pretty explosive, especially at 5 play points here. So I think this is a turn where math is needed, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's one of these decks that's super execution heavy. I mean, it's very emblematic of Forestcraft to be very execution heavy. So every turn, the sequencing is really, really important. I think I would, if I was Yasuki here, I think it would be nice to get a couple of the buff cards. Okay, getting a couple more fairies in the EX is nice as well. So now we might start seeing the thing where you get a bunch of fairies in the X and you start buffing them up, and they can't answer it.
This one is the one cost aria, and that puts 2 fairies in your EX, right?
That's right.
And then it also evos for 1. So yeah, this one also just puts out a ton of fairies.
And when it super evolves, it gives each pixie in the field and the EX +1/+1. So. But it is just going to go for a regular evolve here, and again, it gets buffed up by that. Yes, and then it combos with the Avatars, which is going to then buff up every pixie.
This is an extremely scary card.
And now remember, the Titania Sanctuary is also on field as well. So when these tokens do come out into play, it'll also get another +1/+1 by coming into play with the Titania Sanctuary.
Yeah, we are now locked on space for EX, so we're gonna open up a little bit of space here, sending out one of these fairies, like you said, getting the additional +1/+1.
Oh no, I believe that fairy. Oh yeah, there you go. You're right. And then it's gonna be able to run in.
You got to take care of that.
And remember, it has rush from the Aria Miasma in the EX, and it has a sail from the Titania Sanctuary.
Yep.
This is truly the whole is greater than the sum of its parts type situation. Power of friendship. All the fairies are getting boosted by every other card in the deck.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're pretty happy just leaving the Sweep Tosho on there, just the 0/1, not really doing much.
Yeah, don't worry about it too much. Let's not increase their cemetery count for free.
Exactly, exactly. And once again, the crucial number here is 20. That's when you can actually play the 7 more centimeters. There is another card in the deck that also cares about 20. We'll talk about it if the time comes, but it is one of the ways to help close out the game. Yeah. Though I do spy another Agnes Tachyon in hand, and that is a way to, keep this overflowing horde of fairies under control.
Like, I'll just be honest with you, Cal. I've played against Yasuki's deck a lot, and as stated, I have a 0-win record against it.
Sure, yeah.
But in this matchup, I genuinely don't know. I've never seen Fairy Forest versus 7-centimeter Uma in a while. Certainly not with the new cards.
It's a really interesting one, too, because once you get the 7 more centimeters online, it can be really brutal because it'll destroy all of your opponent's followers, but it doesn't touch amulets, right? So that Titania is just going to be chilling there. It does, the most important part of it is, other than taking care of the board, it also rips 3 cards from hand.
Yes,
so if you can take care of their board and take care of their entire hand and leave them with nothing, that's kind of the idea here. But as we mentioned, the EX area just having all these fairies is it could put a wrinkle into that.
It's pretty untouchable, right? Like, there's very few cards in the game that address the EX area.
You would have to do it multiple times. You basically have to do it in waves, right? Yeah. Take care of their board, wait till they play them out again, take care of their board again, but if they can kind of like combo that top deck into something that gives them Storm, even with cards being ripped out of their hand, I could see a sequence of lines even with 7 more centimeters online where it could still be difficult to win. But I can also see a situation where 7 more centimeters just gets there, right?
I think the crazy thing is that there is ways to like bounce the stuff back too, as Forest is wont to do. So if you're able to get the chip in and then make it inaccessible for your opponent to remove, that's also a play line for Yasuki.
So it looks like we are getting my solo Drawn Raindrop drums back in hand.
Yeah, and because of the Agnes, it's going to give a -1/-1 to the fairy.
So we have Evo here. So now we get to pull a card from Cemetery.
And it's going to do another -1/-1 when played as well, which is very important. Okay, we got the draw.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. So we are going to get an attack here before playing the spell. Both of these decks are really, really big on like sequencing, right?
Yeah, I feel like that actually reflects well on our game. Like I said earlier, a lot of the decks that are currently good are so execution heavy, and there's a huge skill ceiling, which I really like.
And we see like a back and forth, like reading the cards, like okay, which.
Oh yeah, do you think like Wonton? I've never played against Fairy Forest before, and then Yasuki, I've never played against this Uma deck before.
Yeah, what does Uma deck do?
Yeah, very likely, honestly.
The card, by the way, that we saw Wonton get back, we've seen this a couple times, is the Lucky Star in the Sky.
Yes, that's a draw one, right?
Yeah, it's just a quick that lets you look at the top card of your deck, and if it's an Uma card, you can reveal it, and you basically just draw it. But also, if there's at least 5 Uma spells in your cemetery, you also heal 2.
Yeah.
So it's basically just a card that cycles itself, but you also heal, which is why we see Wonton sitting at 24.
And it's so perfect,
it's a good card to keep recurring. Yeah. You want to get to the late game, right? You can be aggressive with the Uma deck, but essentially you want to get to the late game here. You want to get the 20 cards in your cemetery, so you can start doing the 7 more centimeters, and you can also do the Air Shakur, which is another just a big Uma that can just close out the game once you get to the 20 cards in cemetery.
Might be in there. We'll see.
I would wager. My version of this deck runs Vodka and Daiwa Scarlet, in addition to the Air Shakur.
Oh, interesting.
But Air Shakur tends to be like a good finisher. Vodka and Daiwa also. But once again, I'm not sure if they're running Vodka and Daiwa in this particular build. Mine does, but we'll have to see.
Oh, another Amataz. You know what that means?
Good old Bald Blader coming on in.
More buffs to the back.
Yeah. This guy does so much work. I think we saw this last year as well.
Yeah.
Because Fairy Forest was another bit. You know, it's been pretty good for quite a while here in Shadowverse Evolve, and
So-
Amata is just
Yeah.
constant.
So now all of these fairies, when they enter play, will become 4/4s because of the Titania.
That is true.
So
That
these
is
are now
true.
4/4s from Titania.
Yeah, +1/+1 Titania, +1/+1
from the
Amataz.
Amataz. And then
Yep.
now the Amataz can engage and give these both storms, so that's 8 damage to the dome.
Alright.
Plus another.
you gotta start sometime. You're Wonton's sitting at 24 health.
Goodness gracious.
So we have the engage like you mentioned, and now we have these little markers to show that they have storm.
Storm and a sail, let's be
That's
real.
true. Yeah, that's true.
And then these are going to go straight to the head. Hold up. Unless, quick spell.
Yes. So we're exactly the
Oh,
card
it's a
that we
Lucky
just saw.
Star.
Yep. So Lucky Star is gonna draw into another Lucky Star. I
So
think.
we're going to get another heal 2. And then is there a response? Nope. Down to 4, and then down another 4.
Oh no, maybe the top was Sweep Tosho. The art is similar. I think it was Lucky Star and a Sweep Tosho from.
And then we have this other fairy that can also attack. Into Sunday?
Yeah, it looks like into Marvel Sun. Maybe to open up space. Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah. There's the Fairy Dragon.
Okay, so Fairy Dragon, guys, gets +1 attack for each pixie token on your field and EX
It's big.
area.
It's a big fairy.
So it is now very, very large, and it also has ward.
So it looks like he's gonna opt to not ward.
I think that's a smart play, though.
Yeah,
So that you
absolutely.
can swing in the next turn.
Don't make it vulnerable.
Yeah.
We've already gone through 2 Agnes Tachyons, right?
Yeah.
We don't know how many they're running on their deck. Some decks don't run the full 3. My version of the deck only runs 2 Agnes. So if it's a deck that runs lower on Agnes, he could be like, okay, this fairy dragon probably gonna live for the next turn, unless they can kind of pull off some other big removal. This deck tends to run a lot of big removal. We already saw Make Some Noise. We saw Lamplit. We see the Lamplit being pulled off to the side. I think we're separating the number of Uma spells from the rest of the cards in Cemetery there. In hand, there's some decent like card draw and kind of like filtering in hand. And so here we see a card. This was one that was banned for a little while.
Trial Initiation, of course.
This is a nice one. It's kind of like a selection. You look at the top 2, you pick an Uma card, put it in your hand. It's a nice way to just kind of like sculpt your hand, get a, help enact your game plan. I can't quite tell what the card he pulled into hand. It might have been the Maten Konentanhauser, but I'm unsure. So we'll have to see if that comes into play. So here's the Sweep Tosho. We drew this off of the...
Yes, we saw this earlier, right?
Yeah, we drew this off of the Lucky Star.
And it now costs 0 as well.
Yep. So that's going to put the Lucky Star... Oh, okay. Oh, so here this is another 7 more in hand.
Yeah, another heal. So much sustain on Wonton's deck. I'm actually really impressed.
Yeah, you just looping this Lucky Star.
And then we see there, is that a Smart Falcon? If I can see that from the card art. It is indeed, yes.
I think so. So let me see. Smart Falcon. This one's a 5-drop Uma. Return a number of other Uma cards from your field to the owner's hands. Oh yeah, here we go. Deal X damage to each enemy from the field, where X is 2 times the number of cards returned.
Yeah, so returning everything.
Bounce your board, wipe your opponent's board.
Not bad, especially when you're already able to heal all the way back up to full.
Yeah, and you can get the, those fanfare effects again. It's one of the ways you can actually keep playing the Sweep Tosho, right? So it's, your opponent really doesn't want to kill the Sweep Tosho. It just sits there as a 0/1. But if you can bounce it back to your hand and get
then
additional
out
value,
it comes again. Lucky
Exactly.
Star.
Yep.
It is
And
indeed.
You get the Lucky Star, play the Lucky Star, heal for 2, draw the card, draw a Lamplit.
Wow, that's amazing.
Get the extra value now, and play. We're gonna do the same thing. We can keep doing this because this is all cost 0.
Yeah. Wonton is cooking.
Yeah, this deck can like I like this deck schmoves. This deck is schmoving here.
That is pretty incredible, honestly.
And now Wonton just has like a huge grip of cards. I don't know exactly how many cards he has in his hand, but it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you're over 7, you have to discard down, but I think it might be exactly 7.
You're probably happy discarding even if you have to.
Oh yeah, because of
You want cards in your cemetery anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
At some point, we'll have to start counting like the exact number of cards in Cemetery. Oh, okay.
That's Piercy, I believe, if I'm looking at the card art correctly. So that is going to be able to clear the board, essentially.
I think so.
So Piercy, guys, if you didn't know, it basically just deals 2 to all, then 1 to the enemy face whenever something is evolved. So, and it evolves when it evolves, it counts itself, I believe. So.
Yeah, there's 2 different versions of this card, right?
And then it also is able to pull a 2-cost from your deck as well, and then we get another Amatos on the field.
All right, I mean, Amatos is one of the big ways to just push damage with this deck.
Oh, I believe it's not. Yeah.
Not the only, but one of the big ways, right?
So the Amatos goes to hand. My bad, I think. So, yeah, pretty cool. Lots of synergies here, but again, with the amount of sustain that Wonton is pulling out, I don't know if Yasuki's going to have the burn over the course of the game before Centimeters comes out. That's the problem.
Yeah, we do know Wonton has 2 Centimeters in hand. This is like knowledge that Yasuki has as well.
Okay, so again, Titania Sanctuary gives the fairy a sail, and the Miasma Fairy gives it rush, so it's able to take out that Smart Falcon, no problem.
Igni, that Sanctuary is putting in so much work.
Yeah.
So we get a nice little
get another 2/2 up on the field.
Buff on here.
Okay, so we're thinking, okay, they're not at 20 yet. We've seen Agnes Tachyon out.
You know, this might be the first round we see here on stream that we get to 10 play points.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Looking at Wonton's hand, he's probably looking to cycle through, draw more cards, heal up some. Yeah. Yep. We got that.
There
here.
it is again.
So we're going to heal 2, draw this card. That one.
That is the Matikane Fuku Kitaru, I believe.
Yes. Matenkanen Fuku Kitaru. Yes. I know the Matenkanen Tannhauser. There's a lot of
good stuff.
Yeah. Apologies, all of the Uma fans out there.
Yeah, we are bad.
So this card, this one is the Manhattan Cafe. So this is just a 1-drop.
Yes, unrestricted in English.
Yeah, so on Fanfare, you bury the top card of your deck, so obviously synergizes here. And then you can bury this card and select a 2-cost Uma follower in your cemetery, and you summon it. So this is a way you can kind of like get back a lot of your value cards. And so here we are getting
Hishi Miracle.
Yep, Hishi Miracle, which will also like take the top 2 cards of the deck, put them in the cemetery. Once again, just kind of like spinning the wheels, dumping cards into the cemetery, trying to get up to the 20 here. And it looks like we were counting out in batches of 5. So I'm gonna guess we're at like 16 if I just had to guess on cards in cemetery.
It's certainly close.
We have another one of the trial initiations. So the card.
It is Air Shakur. Yeah, you called it.
Yeah, Air Shakur is like one of the ways you can just close out the game. It's a huge. Well, it's basically like on a 3/3, but if there's at least 20 Uma cards in your cemetery, this also gets Storm, and then on strike it gets another +3/+3. Woo. And then if you race it, which we haven't seen much racing yet so far, but if you race it, you can select the enemy on the field, and then you shoot it for 3 damage, and then you also give this +1/+1, and you also mill the top 2 cards of your deck.
So it's a 7/7 Storm.
It's basically a 7/7 Storm, and if they don't leave it, if they don't take care of it, it'll just keep getting +3/+3 every single time.
That's true.
Because it's on strike. It's very strong. It's one of the ways, like I mentioned, that this type of deck tries to close out the game. Because as you see, most of the cards here so far are just like cards that draw you cards that deal with your opponent's board. You haven't seen a lot of aggressive cards, and you just grind them out until you can finish the game with Air Shakur. And like I mentioned, my version of the deck runs Daiwa and Vodka to also help with this. But we'll see. If we haven't seen any of them yet, we'll have to see if they show up. We just saw the Air Shakur here for the first time, so. And that's kind of how this deck basically plays out. You just kind of like go through the motions, cycle through a lot of your stuff, heal a bunch, draw a bunch. You have some ways to play. Oh, so we're counting removal here. So we have, he's taking all the lamplets and all of the make some noise to see how much low-cost interaction is here.
Yeah, it's important when you're playing Fairy Storms to see if the opponent can answer it.
And then also he kind of like put out the My Solo Drawn to Raindrop Drums, which is a card that can just destroy any enemy follower as well.
Okay, so Piercy is going to go in for some face damage. And we do see that Gordon is floating 3. Sorry, Wonton. Gordon's the previous round.
Yes,
we see that Wonton is floating 3.
Wonton is 3. So this is a Celia?
Oh, that is Cynthia, who is going to be able to give
close. I was close.
It's going to give the Pixie Token Storm.
Yes.
And the Pixie Tokens also get buffed up from the Titanias, so this is quite a bit of damage.
You get these little 0-drop wisps.
They do have interaction. That is My Solo taking out the Cynthia. Very smart.
So I think we saw the Solo put into hand a little while ago.
Yep.
You definitely want to take care of the Cynthia. Still going to take 4.
But without that Cynthia, this turn is now looking a little weak, unfortunately, for Yasuki.
Yeah, like just playing out another Pixie doesn't really do a ton.
You do it to like get rid of the Hishi Miracle, but is that worth it?
Yeah.
All right, he's gonna play Fabled Archer, which is also gonna summon a fairy and do a top three tutor. This fairy that's summoned is nice because you can just use that to take out the Hishi Miracle.
Yeah, Fabled Archer. It's not one that I'm super familiar with. I would have also had to like look and take a look. Yeah, so like you said, summon a fairy, and then you top 3, reveal a Pixie card, and add it to your hand. That seems pretty good in the situation here.
And then for the final 2 play points.
Let's see.
Or was that the final 2?
I think the Archer might have been the final 2.
Oh, that was unfortunately
here we have 7 more.
Turn, and now 7 more centimeters is active.
All right, so what 7 more centimeters does is it destroys all of the followers on your opponent's field. You get to draw 3 cards, and then they have to discard 3 cards. And this is kind of like the end game here. You want to do this multiple times, perhaps over the course of a couple different turns, where you just wipe their board, rip their hand, wipe their board, rip their hand, so they're left with nothing. No cards on play, no cards in hand. What makes this tricky, once again, as we mentioned a few times, is that EX area interaction, or the lack of EX area interaction, as well as the Sanctuary, which is not a follower, it is an amulet, which does not get destroyed by the 7 more centimeters.
That being said, losing 3 cards still hurts a lot for Yasuki.
Yeah. And that's kind of like the game plan here until you can get to the point where you can just start jamming in for your 6 or 7 Storm Air Shakur Haste. Storm, and just keep doing it multiple times.
We see another Aria 1 cost here, getting 2 Pixies into the EX.
Yeah, I think here you probably want to just kind of suit up, or
just
the
super is here. Okay, so the Super Evolve does buff up the EX area as well.
Yeah, I think just filling out your EX area is extremely important at this point, right? It's the one area that is pretty uninteractable for the opponent's deck, for Wonton. And so just kind of like souping up your EX so you can kind of play it after they inevitably play more 7 more centimeters. Look, we know, Yasuki knows that Wonton has another 7 more centimeters in hand. We saw him get off the top of the deck earlier. So he knows he has at least 1 more.
Yeah, but it's tough when you don't have any chip at all, because like with 1 board slot already taken from Titania's.
Well, Air Shakur's a 3-drop, and it storms for 6 base, and if you want to race it, it does 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like for Yasuki, like I don't think he can take.
Oh, it's tough. Yeah.
Take down Wonton from 17.
It's really tough.
Yeah.
Especially when he's ripping cards from hand, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna get to the point where he has to like top deck some way to give his fairy storm, whether it's like a Amataz or something. We've already gone through a couple Amataz.
Yeah, we've gone through a couple Amataz, and we've gone through at least 1 Cynthia.
Yep.
This is looking a little dire.
I think
Yasuki
definitely is on the back foot in this situation. We have another 7 more centimeters come into play. We have discard. Wonton's going to discard here, I think, because he has too many cards in hand. Yeah. So he had 9 cards, discard 2.
Okay. So Yasuki's play is Fabled Archer. Let's try and find something off the top as well.
Archer's pretty good here, right? It gives you a little bit of gas here.
Ooh, is that Blessed Fairy Dancer?
That's the pumper, right?
Yeah, it's +1/+1 to all Pixies on the field and in EX area. So once again, it gets buffed up yet again.
Quite good. I think it feels like a good game plan here for Yasuki is just to weather through all of the 7 more centimeters and make an unkillable EX area where you can just kind of send them out and then just have it so that they can just get there, over the course of a couple turns.
If this is another 7 more centimeters, though, Yasuki's going to be pretty upset.
I mean, Wonton's got 8 cards in hand now.
I don't think it's in there, though.
I don't see a 7 more.
Yeah.
I see, I think there's a Matenkantenhauser on the front here.
I think you'll find that it's actually a Matekane.
Is it the other one?
Matekane.
Well, here's Air Shakur. I know this one for
sure.
Help. Yeah, this is Air Shakur. So Air Shakur, as I mentioned, this is a 3-drop 3/3.
Yeah.
If there's at least 20 Uma cards in your cemetery, it also gets Storm, and then also gets a Strike, get +3/+3.
I wonder if they'll go for the erase.
It doesn't look like it. It looks like we're just doing 6 Storm face here. So it could be a situation where Wonton feels that if he has enough damage in hand, he can just play out does he have another airship core? I'm curious as to see if he can push enough damage here.
Oh, there is Machitan Tannhauser. You were right.
So this is the Machitan Tannhauser.
Machitan Adventure.
Yeah, so this is another 3-cost, 3/3 on race. You can select an Uma follower that costs 3 or less in your cemetery, which is probably an airship core, by the way.
Oh, true.
And you summon it, and then you give this follower +1/+1. And on Fanfare, this also bears the top card of your deck. So the card that you want to get most from here is an airship core.
Is there another
and
airship core?
It
is.
Yeah,
there is another one in there.
Yeah, so this is what the deck does. So you get the airship core. This is going to be another 6 Storm. And now you have to read the airship core. Yeah, like I said, this card is the key way you actually win with this deck. Deals a ton of damage.
Again, I want to remind everybody, Wonton is one of 2 Uma Musume players who believed in this deck, and maybe I'm starting to believe too.
This is my favorite version of Uma currently. And then we have...
Oh, Marvelous Sunday is able to bounce the airship core back.
So we can play it on next turn. So airship core actually represents 7 damage if you do the race as well. So airship core is lethal. So it's basically saying, Wonton's basically saying, hey, deal me 21 damage here. I dare you. Do it.
Can Yasuke do it?
I
don't know.
You got to heal, you got to put a ward, or you got to deal me 21 damage. You got to do one of these things, or I got you next turn. Like, the writing is on the wall here. So
I don't know if there's a way.
Because like you can clean board all you want, but we already know the airship core is in hand. So yeah, I mean, it's good news for Wonton if the fairies are going board, right? Because if the fairies are going board, you're probably like, they're probably not gonna go face. You probably don't have lethal. You probably don't have the 21. So here we have...
yeah, and we know there's another airship core in hand, though, so what does this matter? Unless Yasuke can pull something out.
Wonton even has 1 play point left, and he has a Lamplight in hand, too. So he has some interaction if he wants to use it, right? We do see, like, some juicy targets here for that if he wants to, but I don't even know if he wants to.
What is happening now? I am, like, so... Wait. Is there only 2 cards left in the deck for Wonton?
Ooh.
Was he going to be able to stall him out?
I'm not sure. Did he, like, deck him?
Oh, is this a double game loss because of time?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I guess we'll find the situation.
Yeah, like, so the way I saw it, I thought Wonton had lethal on the next turn, right? Because he could just play airship core, race, attack for 7.
It is the double loss, yeah, because of time. It went to time.
That is brutal. Maybe that is one of the downsides of playing a deck like this that just, for Wonton, that just kind of really goes and...
Stalls all the way to the end, yeah.
Yeah, it's... I mean, you got to know that going into this event, right? You know that you're a deck that you just play out until you can just grind your opponent into nothing and then play out your couple win conditions.
It's interesting. I think Yasuke does have... theoretically survivability options in the deck, right? So we can't know that. So maybe it would have been one game or the other, but really it's impossible to say. But I think, yeah, I mean, what a crazy game. I think regardless, it is a good showing for Uma Musume, especially being one of the 2 players who brought it. Like, being able to show that level of play on the stream table.
It's a double heartbreaker for both Fairy fans and
I think everybody
fans.
is walking away from this one a little. I mean, we could have seen more for sure. Like we would have liked to see more, but unfortunately, that is the logistics of the event. We sometimes a double loss does happen because the timer rules are the timer rules. So it is what it is.
Yeah, unfortunately,
yeah.
But
I think it was a good showing from both decks, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, like. We basically saw what the decks really want to do, and if you haven't seen the Uma deck in action, that's basically what the Uma deck wants to do.
It was a pretty great showing.
Yeah.
I'm super impressed. Like,
yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. I wonder if the other Uma player is also on this version, or if they're on the ramp version, or if they're on the Daiwa Vodka version. Or what.
There's a ramp version. There's one that's like more like just straight aggro. That's more like traditional aggro. My personal favorite is the 7 more centimeters version. That I also run a couple copies of Daiwa and Vodka that are just help you get there a little bit easier. That one seemed to be more grindy, right? You're just kind of like cycling through your deck, drawing cards, healing, and then getting to the point where you can just 7 more centimeters your opponent a couple times, and then you win with the airship core. And then you got like the recursive ability with the Machitan Tannhauser to bring it back. I think it's a sweet deck. And I think if you are a fan of Uma Musume, I think it's definitely worth trying out. There's some other cards that can come up that we didn't actually see, like Cheval Grand and some other cards like that we didn't particularly see in that game, but I'd recommend checking it out if you like Uma. I think it's a sweet deck. And then, of course, we had on the other side Fairy, which has been a favorite for Shadowverse Evolved players for a very long time.
Yeah, I think both in the States and in Indonesia particularly, which is a bit of an odd combination, but there you go.
Yeah, I mean, the very first World Finals, we saw it at the finals, right?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's still going strong. And Hiaski, one of the best pilots of it, so hopefully we see it more throughout the day. But guys, that's going to be the end of round 4. We have 2 Swiss rounds to go, so you got to stay locked in for these next 2 Swiss rounds before we get into Top Cut. But before we head into break, of course, we have another trivia question for the chat. Guess the card rarity. Is Latica Verdant Claw A legendary, B a gold, or C a silver? If you get this one wrong, chat, I will be judging you. Okay.
Me too.
So make sure to type your answer in the chat, and we'll circle back on this once we get back from the break to see what the answer is. But guys, that's going to be it from us for right now. Stay right where you are. We'll be back with round 5 after this break.
How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to the Bushiroad Championship Series World Finals for Shadowverse Evolved.
That's right.
I am Kel, also known as Red Zone Rogue, and Iggy's still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, it would be concerning if I wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Disappeared under mysterious circumstances. They're going to have a warrant out for me as well.
Yeah. So we're actually here for round 5 of 6 rounds of Swiss. We're actually closing in on the final couple games or final couple rounds of Swiss.
Yeah, the penultimate round before.
Yes, good word.
Yeah, I try to use it when I can.
Yeah.
And then after the 6 rounds of Swiss, of course, we have Top Cut. But before we get into this next round, of course, we got to reveal the answer to the previous trivia question. So if you're playing along in the chat, what's the rarity? Is it legendary, gold, or silver? Of course, the answer is.
It's
oh, come on!
Come on. This is legendary.
Even with the emblem at the bottom being hidden, you can know from the black border that all legendaries in Shadowverse Evolve have. Come on now, let's be real.
Yeah, this question was, hey, do you play Shadowverse Evolve? Yeah.
Now let's have a look at the leaderboard for the trivia to see where people are at, because of course you can use these points to get something for you, a little bit of merch at the end. Torterra Fan 619 up with 242, well above the rest of the competition. Nice comeback too.
Yeah, we have a couple other participants in the 230 range, and still some more below. We have, several more rounds as we proceed. So, it's not cut and dry quite yet, but we do have a 4-runner now.
Yeah, that's right. So, guys, we're going to be doing this for the next few rounds as well, so make sure you stay locked in. Speaking of leaderboards, though, let's take a look at the leaderboards of the competitors who are actually here at the event, because, again, we are at the penultimate round of Swiss, and we're down to only 4 people with flawless records, and everyone else has taken a hit, including one that we watched on stream before, Rhinox and G. Gordon.
Yep, they got the double loss there. And we have, as you mentioned, we have 4 undefeated players now. Kira, Brian M, Nova TCG, and Shandella.
Yeah, and I think our next round is going to have our 10th place placement here. Yo Fuzzy 3 is going to be one of the people we are watching here in round 5. So I guess the players are already at the desk. We can start talking about it and getting into it. Yo Fuzzy, Australian player, also apparently made top 8 at a Y Schwartz regional.
Oh, yeah.
So multi-track drifting, good at both games. Pretty
Absolutely
cool.
Love to see it.
And the Y Schwartz guys are like right past this barrier.
Yeah,
here,
they're there.
So, a little bit of crossover there. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, we actually have a player who's playing from the simplified Chinese edition of the game and managed to qualify to World Finals, which I think is super cool. His name is Noir.
Yeah, I heard that their deck is also all in simplified Chinese, so it's really cool to see like that aspect of Shadowverse Evolved.
Oh, I believe they are playing an English deck for this.
Oh, are they playing English deck?
But they qualified through the simplified Chinese edition.
Still very cool to see them here at the World Finals.
I mean, I just love it when it's truly an international event, right? You have players from all walks of life, from all over the world. So there's Noir right there, and he will be playing Forest Craft. What Forest Craft build we have yet to find out. And on the opposite side, it is Yo Fuzzy, who is playing Abyss. Now, I think we can probably guess what Abyss Craft it is.
It's extremely likely that the Abyss is probably
departed.
Yeah. Though Forest, we've seen a couple different variants of Forest today already. We've seen Sekka, we've seen Fairy, so it could be either.
First play is Shamu Shama. Okay, so it's
Sekka. This is the Beast Sekka.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I think this is kind of one of the key matchups of this particular event because both of these decks are or at least both of these crafts are pretty widely represented, and both of these archetypes are seen to be some of the best in the game right now. We've already seen Abyss do very, very well here at Worlds. In fact, I don't think Abyss has lost on camera yet.
No, Abyss has done amazingly. I will say, though, a little bit of a slow start, no turn 1 play from Yo Fuzzy, meaning that the Shamu was able to get a hit in, but he got the quick spell play of the Dead to Rights as well, being able to take out the target.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can have a little bit of a slower start if you don't draw that Ilgano into, like, your Arcus. Ooh, we have a Do Blame, Duke, and Dame. So this is a card that just kind of takes the top card of your deck, puts it in the trash. It has a pretty nice Evo effect that can take care of board, which is exactly what we're going to see here. That's kind of like a classic Abysscraft card.
I think incredibly relevant tech against aggro decks as well, just being able to 2-for-1 a follower in the early
absolutely.
game. Yeah.
That's really what you want to do with this deck, right? We mentioned this a few times, but the big weakness of this Departed Abyss is aggro decks. You just got to survive long enough where you can just overwhelm them with all of your advantage from your cemetery here.
Very nice. Okay, so we're seeing a combo here.
Okay,
the Chipper Skipper Evolve is able to pull out the Alice from the Seaside Memory set, and because Alice is played from an area that isn't the hand, it's able to put the Do Blame back into the EX area, and when an Evolved follower hits the EX area, it unevolves. So it's back as the base form, and then the Evolve gets used up. So very strong play there. That being said, it does give...
It's a little bit of a double edge.
Yeah, exactly. It gives Yo Fuzzy the option to play it again and evolve it again if they so please.
So you get the fanfare from the Do Blame if he chooses to play that, get the card from the top of the deck, and then if they have another copy of it in the Evo deck, you can do the Evo as well. But we actually don't know if they have another copy of the Evo deck.
That's true, we don't.
I would imagine if they're running Do Blame, probably around 2, but that's just a guess here. So we'll have to see what happens.
I think also what's really cool is that Chipper Skipper has multiple really good targets. Of course, we have the Alice, but it's very, very common to get Fina out of it as well, and it just all synergizes very nicely. I mean, we saw this deck in a previous round as well, and we're going to see it again. But this time around, the Abysscraft might not have all the answers. But Mukon does come out with another Evolve point.
Yeah, so Mukon on turn 3 with the Evo point is really sweet, especially if you have something in your cemetery to actually get back here.
Now, what's in there, though? I see a Cerberus, and I see a...
It was Cerberus and, like...
And Dead to Rights. There's nothing for it to pull.
So are we just doing, like, a...
We're just doing it for
no
stats.
value, just a 4/4 dude.
That's interesting.
That actually makes it so that the Do Blame going into the EX instead of the cemetery actually is a detriment here. Because if Do Blame was, removed and put in the cemetery, it could have... gotten back.
It could have been, yes, true. Yeah. Yes, true. So the Alice being a sort of pseudo removal actually ended up being better than it being an actual removal in that sense.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, check that. I want to correct myself. Mukon can only get departed followers from cemetery. So
okay, so
Do Blame is not.
Do Blame's not a departed?
I believe Do Blame is just a demon.
Yeah, it is just a demon. I kind of just assume everything's departed.
Yeah, Mukon is a new card. I had to double check on that, but yeah, they only get departed stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, either way, there wasn't anything for it to res, unfortunately.
This is, I'll be honest, as someone who plays the Departed Abyss deck, this is a really rough start.
Yeah, and especially when they're doing things like this.
Oh no,
being able to bounce back the Shamu Shama, get the Salvia Panther, and that's another 2 damage out onto the field.
Yeah, this is very scary. Great for Noir, very scary for Yo Fuzzy. The Beast Forest, the Sekka Forest is kind of just doing exactly what it wants to do. It's not really missing a beat here. And if you're Fuzzy, you really want them to stumble a little bit because you've had a much slower start than you like.
I mean, this is kind of what we were talking about. Like, we've been saying this again and again, right? This is like the aggression. If you don't get the good start, this is really rough for you to come back from.
Oh, absolutely.
I think aggro decks are really well positioned to the current meta game, actually.
Aggro decks they are, absolutely. The problem is like, they're the kind of archetypes where they can gas out a little bit if your opponent's able to like weather the storm.
I think Sekka doesn't really have that issue, though, because Sekka from Cemetery can summon the advance.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, Sekka is pretty resilient. We did see, like, earlier today where Sekka had a couple turns where they just, flooded the board with Anastasia, but Abyss was able to take care of it, and then they did it again, and Abyss was able to take care of it. But that only happens if Abyss is able to get a ton of cards in Cemetery and get a lot of their stuff going, and we don't have that here, right?
And that game with Reedy, I think the only reason why that was possible for him to come back was because he had that exact sequencing to be able to take out that 5/5 Sekka with an Evolved Wretch, which was his only out, right?
I mean, like, having, like, 15, 20 cards in your Cemetery really helps with that because it gives you a lot of options.
Exactly, yeah.
But, and so... Fuzzy essentially is in a very, very tough spot. I have been in this spot before when playing this deck, and it could just happen, you know?
He's referring to last night when we were testing, and I just turned Forte sideways.
he just forte'd me, yeah. Sometimes it just happens.
Unga boonga, dude. No thinking.
Yeah.
All right.
And so we have the Mukon here, just chipping in a little bit. Let's see. We have a follow play. So this is a Gremory,
yep,
right?
that is going to be able to get a ward up at least.
It's a 2/3 ward. You have the top 2 from the deck, which is nice. And we also have an Arcus here.
Arcus is not bad. Okay, so we can probably sack the Mukon here, right?
I think you want to do that. Yeah, you want to sack the Mukon, probably get some additional value out of this. No, we're going to sack Gremory.
Gremory.
Oh, so Gremory makes a little bit of sense. Gremory you can play from
the
Cemetery,
yeah.
but you have to have 10 cards in Cemetery to be able to do that. It'll only cost 1, but...
I think this is on paper the better play, but it's a little dicey when you're already taking so much damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a little bit less defensive, right? You do keep your 4/2, but it makes sense, right? Because you can get additional value out of the Gremory, but, you know, it's one of those situations where, like, do you want to be greedy or safe, right? I feel like this is the higher role play.
It's actually also kind of scary to leave the Chipper Skipper up, because even if Noir is able to play Fina from hand, it gets a save.
The name,
Rush
man.
as well.
Chipper Skipper.
Yeah.
Great name.
It is a great name, yeah.
Ooh, I'm looking at Noir's hand, and I see gas, dude. I see some Idolmaster cards, and that is...
Oh, that's Minaminita!
yeah. You see Idolmaster cards in the hand.
Right,
this is gross.
The supporter app is not quite, the sidekick is not quite updated here, but yeah, this is turn 5 for Noir, yep. So it is able to go ahead and get the Anastasia. And once again, Minaminita makes the Anastasia free from your deck, essentially, because it reduces the cost by 3, and then Anastasia refunds 2, so it becomes basically 0 cost, and then it's already combo 2, and then you can go from there. So
yes, and go from there can be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It can be kind of crazy.
There's a lot of implication in my go from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we just see here from Noir, this is kind of like exactly what you want to be doing when you're playing this deck. He really hasn't missed a beat starting from turn 1.
I will say Fuzzy did a pretty good job of clearing that last board, but even so, and the Shamu Shama is also combo 3 now. Not combo 5, so it's not going to be able to do a clear, but it will be able to chip for 2 to the face.
Get the play points back.
And then the Carbuncle is now combo 4.
It bounces.
And then get the Shamu Shama back again.
So we have combo 5 easily online. So
and Sukuna!
It's Sukuna, Brave and Small, coming on in. So this is probably going to Evo. It's going to be absolutely huge. This is combo 5. Going to pump the whole board.
Yep.
As well as have Storm.
The Arcus isn't dealt with, but it's kind of hard to deal with the Arcus anyway. So
I mean, taking your opponent down to 6 here when your board is so big, when they have a very small Cemetery.
And we know there's a Sukuna in hand. And so does Fuzzy.
Yep. We know the Sukuna's there. This is an extremely rough situation for Fuzzy to put it mildly.
That was like the perfect curve, I think, from the Sekka Beast. I'm very impressed by that.
Yeah, this is like a textbook play, or textbook
turn 5 for sure, yeah. And we'll get another 3 in with the Alice as well.
Chipping on
so
down.
A Shamu Shama with a bounce? I think that's going to be curtains unless Fuzzy can
I don't know what you can do. 5 play points. I think you just scoop.
All right, scoop. All right, GG. Very fast game there. And that is going to be a decisive victory from Noir. And now you get to see the true power of Sekka Beast Forest Craft. And this is kind of why I feel like if it's able to get rolling, it's kind of unstoppable.
Well, it's one of those things where like the Abyss deck just whiffed, right?
Yes,
they had no Ilganau. They didn't curve out into anything good. Like
no Resh to deal with the 5 health guys as well.
Yeah, like they kind of bricked. I would personally, as someone who plays the deck, I consider that a pretty big brick, right? If you just have like your Dead to Rights and then like not even a Gremory on turn 2. It was like even a delayed Gremory going up against an extremely powerful deck that also did not stumble at all.
Yeah, like we gotta say that these two are like 2 of the best decks in format. Yeah. So if one stumbles and one doesn't, like
exactly, we saw like in an earlier round where both decks were firing on all cylinders and it was much closer,
more even, for sure.
Yeah, and so like one deck stumbles, the other deck just absolutely steamrolls it.
Yeah, but I mean, there you go. I mean, we saw the potential of Departed Abyss earlier in the day.
Well, multiple times.
Multiple times, yeah. And then now we see the potential of Sekka Beast as well.
This is actually the first time we've seen Departed lose on camera.
Yeah,
today.
it's gonna be a weird one to go into the top 8. I'm really curious to see what ends up making the top cut, because I feel like a lot of these games are actually pretty close.
Both of those players going into this had one loss, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was they were both 3-1 going into this round. So we'll have to see how things shake out.
Of course, we do still have one more Swiss round, though,
that's
before
true.
top cut.
Yep.
So I'm really excited to see that. And you should also be excited, because guess what, chat? We also have another trivia question. That's right. Cal, take it away. What's the trivia question?
Let's see what we got here for trivia. Come on, give us a good one. Give us a good trivia here. So, which archetype from Convergent Destinies is said to receive new cards? A, Academic, B, Natura, or C, Wasteland?
I love the wording of this question. It's almost like a mythical.
It's said
to receive new cards. The Oracle of Delphi has told me that this archetype will receive new cards.
I heard it on the wind. So yes, just let us know in chat what is your answer.
And of course, if you answer correctly, you get some points, and you can use those points to potentially get some merch at the end of the day. So get to it.
Playmats, booster boxes, good stuff.
And we'll reveal the answer to this question once we start the next round after this break. So we'll go to a break, and then the final round of Swiss. Don't go anywhere. You do not want to miss the action. Hello and welcome to the final round of Swiss for the Bushiroad Championship Series 25-26 World Finals. We are your hosts, Ignitius and Kel. The final round of Swiss, super exciting. After this, we'll find out who is going to be in the top 8 to compete for that glorious title of Shadowverse Evolve World Champion. But of course, now we have to see who's going to win the title of person who got the last trivia question correct. Let's take a look at the answer.
Right, exactly.
Of course, the last question was, which archetype from Convergent Destinies is said to receive new cards? Is it Academic, Natura, or Wasteland? And last break, the people in the chat would have been able to type their answer. What's the correct answer? It is, of course, Natura. Guys, the trailer for this set was literally playing during the break. So if you didn't get this one right, I would have been very disappointed in you. So pretty good. Let's take a look at the leaderboard and see who is leading the questions leaderboard. Kaino Code with a huge comeback, 466 points. Goodness gracious.
Well, that is a pretty big lead, actually. 30-point lead.
It's got to be from the bets, right? The bets are what's catapulting people ahead.
Yeah, you can see we see it kind of drop pretty hard, you know? We have 400, 400, 400, then we go 300s into 2s. So
I bet you a Kaino Code was like all in and got it right. So.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to go big.
That's it, man. Speaking of going big, last round of Swiss, and it's a pretty exciting one because the two players who we're going to see are playing some pretty interesting lists, I think. Lists that we haven't seen either of them on cast yet. But first, let's take a look at the leaderboard. Only 2 players are now undefeated. Brian M. and Nova TCG.
Oh, yeah, the breakers are going to be really interesting going into this round. This is definitely a make it or break it round. And as you said, those 5-0 players, I don't want to say they're 100% guaranteed to get in, but
it's a pretty safe
you
chance.
You gotta feel pretty happy if you're Brian M or Nova TCG here.
I'll say a couple of familiar names here as well. We see G. Gordon, we see Rhinox, who we saw on stream before.
Yep.
But of course, the game we're about to watch is going to be a really interesting one. The first sword of the day, which is pretty funny. Somehow we dodged it all day until now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very represented class, right? It was like the third most represented.
Yep.
And it was pretty close too. So we are finally seeing Sword. As we mentioned at the start of the show, that is a deck and class that a lot of folks expected, going into this event, and a lot of folks think is very strong. But on the other side, we see the Idolmaster, Cinderella Girls. You can see all of their
magical items.
in their the pregame EX area cards.
That's right. So I want to give a bit of backstory here. Kiku Getsu is a player from the Simplified Chinese edition of the game, and his deck is in Simplified Chinese. And this does put him at a slight disadvantage because the Simplified Chinese edition of the game is one set behind. So they have yet to receive BP16 New World Genesis. That being said, Thief Sword is a deck that doesn't really need any of the new cards from New World Genesis.
It's very good.
And you can see that he's doing very well despite it all. And we know it's Thief because we see the Grand Acquisition already in the cemetery there.
Yes.
Meanwhile, on the other side, the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, the EX booster set just came out.
It literally just came out not too long ago.
Less than a week ago. but it gets a lot of amazing support for pretty much all the archetypes that are available. Cute, cool, passion. Even the new generation set gets support too. So we'll have to see which one it is from Reese. That is the...
Oh, let's see. So an interesting thing about this Idolmaster deck is that...
that is Shuko Shiomi.
Not a lot of people have... I imagine not a lot of players had a ton of time to play test against the new version of this deck, right? It's one of the ones that's kind of a bit of a wild card. It's so new. We knew the previous version of Idolmaster was very strong, and we'll have to see how this newer version plays out. And obviously, Reese is up here, you know, making it at Worlds, so you got to know it's got some game.
So Shuko Shiomi is a 1-cost from the new EX booster, which is discard an Idolmaster card and draw a card, and you can also pay 2 and engage to bury this. So search your deck for a follower with Shuko Shiomi in its name, summon it, then shuffle, only if there are 10 Idolmaster Cinderella Girls cards in your cemetery. Interesting. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, we see a Leod, I believe, come down for Kikugetsu.
Yeah, Leod is a pretty classic Swordcraft card. He just does a lot of value. It's really hard to deal with. On the Idolmaster side, this deck, by the way, it looks like this is a cool themed Idolmaster deck.
It's looking like it. I'm seeing board floods on turn 2, and I'm like, that's got to be cool.
Yeah, and cool traditionally is a very aggressive deck.
Yes.
A lot of the cards have Storm. There's like Rin Shibuya. She has Storm. I think the new version of her also has Storm. The deck is just extremely aggressive and can do like a lot of burst damage out of nowhere, as with a lot, you know, as in tradition with aggressive decks in Shadowverse Evolve.
100%. And I think we've been talking about this throughout the day, too, where we believe that aggro is pretty well positioned into the current metagame,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say as well, though, to be fair, I'm sorry, speaking to your previous point, you said that, you know, maybe people weren't practiced against the Idolmaster EX set. I think that discrepancy is maybe even more pronounced in this because Kikugetsu is also a set behind of English in general.
True.
Yeah, so we'll have to see if Kikugetsu can come out of this with pure fundamentals.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a really interesting matchup, I'll be honest. I think at the core of this, both of these decks want to be fairly aggressive, though the Thief Sword deck can play a little bit more into the mid-game. It does have a lot of cards that, you know, care about your opponent having 10 cards in their cemetery, for example, and you get additional value out of that. And then you have a lot of cards that can just... you know, just do more the longer the game goes.
Especially with the Grand Acquisition played on turn 1 already, meaning that the Ultras is very likely to come online at least in the mid game by turn 5, turn 6, turn 7-ish.
Yeah, absolutely here. And there's a couple things to note for the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls deck. All those cards in the EX area help you do your lesson effects.
Yes.
There's some cards that care about, they'll say like lesson 1, do a thing. And then they basically use the card in the EX area. So keep an eye on that. They will basically fuel some of the powerful effects for the deck.
It's an interesting one, right? Because each of the collaboration boosters has a special unique mechanic.
Yeah.
Like with Uma Musume, we had Race. With Vanguard, we had Drives. And with Idolmaster, I think it's, for my money, I think it's the most unique one because you only get the full EX area of magical items if you're specifically a Universe deck.
Yes.
And if you're splashing in Idolmaster into a regular deck, you don't get the magical items at the start of game for free. Yeah. So you'll need to run cards that give you the magical items some other way, which is often quite a tempo loss, so people usually don't do it. So when you see the 5 magical items immediately like on the field, you're like, okay, now I already understand what this is going to do. And we're already seeing, this is, I believe, the new Shibu we are in, right?
Yes, yeah, this is the new one. I think she's a low-cost 2/1 Storm, and I think we also had an additional effect, taking out that Leod, which also got a nice little 2-for-1 on Kikugetsu's turn. The new Shibuya Rin here.
Yes, it's less than 2.
She has a 2/1 Storm, yeah.
Less than 2, select an enemy follower on the field and deal it damage equal to the number of cool followers on your field. So, and with your deck, you're just trying to flood the board with cool followers as much as possible.
Yep.
So
And
makes sense.
Leod took some damage from trading off, so it was able to take the couple points of damage and finish off.
Wow, I mean we're on turn 3, the sword's already at 13 defense. So
yeah, I mean, it kind of happens when all your stuff has, or a large chunk of your stuff has Storm.
Yeah, I think it is quite. Yeah, most of the cards in this deck have Storm, especially the Shibuya Rins, as you said. And I think a lot of the new cool cards from the new set also have Storm. And it usually is to do something with if you have other cool cards or something like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And like even the old version of Shibuya Rin, she has Storm, and then she can give other stuff Storm too. Yeah. So like the deck works really, really well together, and it can kind of just, once again, be very explosive, almost out of nowhere.
Yeah, it is a little scary. All right, let's see how the Swordcraft is going to navigate this. They're going to start with the Adherent.
Yeah, this is the one that on Fanfare, if your opponent has 10 cards in the cemetery, it just kind of evolves by itself.
Wait, is there 10? I don't believe there is.
I don't think so. I think this was a manual. I think this was a manual evolve.
Must have been, yeah, because he spent the evolve point.
It's not optimal, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
That's a pretty slow turn though. If that's the entire turn, it's just Adherent, evolve, trade.
Yeah, you trade in to Shibuya Rin, and you also get that Gilded Blade in your EX area. And then whenever you play a loot card once per turn, you can get a Gilded Boots in your EX area. So you can kind of trade that blade for some boots. The blade does a little bit of damage, and the boots can give
rush or storm.
Rush or storm, yeah.
Yeah.
Rush baseline, and then storm if your opponent has 10 or more.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, it's kind of an unassuming little card, but you can put in a lot of work.
Now, what is that? That must be one of the newer cards, right?
So that one is, well, in EX, that is the old version of Ranko Kanzaki, but the one that is in play
That's
here.
Asuka Ninomiya, I believe, who is a... While there are at least 3 cool followers on your field, this has Storm, Fanfare. You can pay 2 for lesson 1 to search your deck for a follower with Ranko Kanzaki in its name and put it into your EX area, and then shuffle, and it costs 4 less to play, which we just see now.
And
now it's also coming out.
So yeah, you got the Ronko. I think the new Ronko is a 5-drop, so getting the old Ronko 4-drop, making it free to play, was a really nice turn, because that one, on Fanfare, you can select an enemy follower and just deal it 2 damage, so that was able to clear up the board here.
Unfortunately, they are going to evolve the Ronko, though, into the Fortuna Regina SP, which is very nice. And that lets them put something into the EX area, which is pretty sick. The only problem is that this still, I think, ends up with you only having 2 cool followers on the board, so I believe the Ninomiya still doesn't have Storm, which is a bit unfortunate, but... I mean, still making a big board is pretty good, right? Yeah,
and also just kind of like getting that nice card selection off the top of the deck. But it's like pseudo-drawing a card, right? Puts it in your EX area, so you can just play it on a future turn. One of the disadvantages of this is it's like clearing your EX area from all of your Idolmaster magical items. But we've already used 3 of them here, so we have enough space.
Yeah, it's all good. But again, because there's only 2 cool followers, the Nomiya doesn't have Storm, unfortunately, so a little bit of a slower turn, but still developing a pretty good board, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, like, Reese has already been, like, very quick, so having, like, a slower turn is exactly what Kikogetsu is really looking for here.
And let's see, what did that Ronko put into the EX? I believe that is
the
new Shibuya Rin as well, right? The 2 cost. It's just a different art for it.
I think it's, one of the very pretty alternate arts for it.
Yes, with Rian and Mio. Oh, I'm a big fan of Mio Honda, actually, so I'm glad to see her in this list, in spirit, if not in actual practice.
Yeah, so we have another Storm, another Storm in the back pocket here.
There's Octrus, though, coming out, the new Octrus.
And look at old Octrus off the top.
That is kind of the play, right?
Yeah, exactly. We have the Gilded Blade kind of finishing off, clearing up the board.
Armor of the Stars.
You mentioned this a couple times. This card is... Oh, it's annoying. All right, I'll just put it that way.
I thought we've been talking about it nonstop. Yeah, so Armor of the Stars gives a huge stat buff and aura to a follower, so having it just sit on the board ends up being very annoying for the enemy.
Yeah, it gives +1/+2, but the aura is like the really key part, making it so like it's more or less like, I'm not going to say immune to effect damage, but... Or effects at all.
Wait,
but
is that the old Octrus? It's really small on my screen. I think that is the old Octrus. My bad.
I think this one is the. I think this is the newer one.
Okay.
The newer one, and they got the old Octrus off the top with the effect. So he does have old Octrus in hand. So having a 4/5, also a little bit of a slower turn, right? I was able to maintain board control, but just a little bit of a 4/5 and. Setting up for future turns. The new Octrus, by the way, if you didn't know, she is a 3/3, and then you can put a Remnant of Hollowness token into your EX area on Fanfare. And then the next loot card you play costs 2 less, and then you can banish an Octrus from your cemetery and put a Gilded Blade, Goblet, and Boots into your EX area.
This is a really cool synergy. Now, we've been talking a lot about the 5-cost Anastasia. Now we get to see the 2-cost Anastasia.
So this is a new one, yeah.
Yeah, so Yasuha Okazaki is going to go ahead and summon the 2-cost Anastasia from the deck. Anastasia sees the light. And this one's pretty interesting because you can pay the lesson cost to put an IMAS CG follower that costs 2 or less from your hand into your EX area, and then it costs 2 less again. So again, it's just board flood upon board flood upon board flood. And that's a through line we're seeing today. I think a lot of the decks that are doing well are decks that can present threat every turn, essentially from thin air.
Yeah, and he was able to put in Asaka Ninomiya, and this is another one that can also have Storm. This says, while there are at least 3 cool followers in your field, this also has Storm.
We saw this previously. It's just the alt art for it.
Yeah. And so we do we have the requisite number of cool followers?
Yep,
I believe
those
so.
Are all 3, yep.
So this one's going to jam in for 4 Storm damage, taking down to 9.
And evolving the Anastasia also buffs up the other 2 cool on the board.
Yeah. Yeah, like we said, this is like a very aggressive deck. A lot of the stuff have Storm. It just synergizes extremely well together. You know, coming off of the brand new Idolmaster Cinderella Girl set, we haven't really seen this deck in action like at all, right?
This deck looks fun to play, Kel.
Absolutely.
I'm an aggro Andy, so I might have to build this one. Not gonna lie.
I think this deck might be for you. There's some good positives. The previous Idolmaster Cinderella Girls pre-constructed decks actually have a lot of the the cool cards for this, like the Shibuya-Rin.
And the good news as well is that Convergent Destinies comes out soon in English, and my boy Rowan's coming back, so I get to play Draconic Duelist again.
Yeah.
It's a time to be an aggro Andy. I'll tell you how much. All right. Now going into the Swordcraft turn, this is such a hard one to navigate because the stats are massive. I mean, that's a 5/5 on the left side there.
Yeah, let's see. I think we are doing an Octress effect here. Because we have, he's looking at what card to take.
Oh, are we stealing?
I think so. Looks like a new Renko Kanzaki. It looks like he's taking the new 5-drop 5/5 Ward Renko Kanzaki. There's a little bit of a discussion going on here. Maybe not.
I think he's just reading the card effects first before he commits to a
I mean,
play.
this is really fair. Like we mentioned, like the set, the new EX version of the Idolmaster cards is just very very new.
Yeah, and I can't pronounce any of them, so my apologies.
Yeah, it's difficult. So I think so the card that he chose is a really sweet card from the set, actually. One of my favorite cards from the set. It's a 5-drop 5/5 with Ward. And on Fan Free, select an enemy fall on the field, you destroy it. And if you have Necrocharge 5, you heal 3. And if you have Necrocharge 10, you deal 3 damage to the enemy leader. It also has a lesson effect, but that won't really matter if the Thief deck is just taking it here. But a 5/5 with Ward that also destroys something when it enters is pretty good.
There it is. And that's kind of unfortunate because that was buried, right?
Yes.
All right, so there's Old Octress, and we are going to go ahead and start stealing.
Yeah, so...
Yep, there it is.
So basically what he was doing is he was checking the opponent's cemetery prior to playing the Old Octress.
Yes, you do have to do something.
And just kind of like, you know, figuring out what his play line is here. So he's like, okay, I'm going to choose this card. Then he plays Octress, Evo's Octress, does the effect, gets the Ronco, and then plays it.
You know, Cal, especially when they start doing multiple of the same character in different cards, I got to get like the Jarvis enhance here, dude. I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but that new Ranko Kanzaki I think is kind of unfortunate for Reese because I think that was buried from the previous Ranko, right? So he didn't get to take advantage of it, but
I think
his
so.
opponent does.
Yeah, and it's big. Like it's a 5/5.
Yeah.
It looks like Kiketsugu maybe is determining what he wants to do. So he's not going to ward it up. I think he feels like he's just passing the turn. But he has the opportunity to ward up at the end of turn if he wants. He is at a little bit of a precarious life total. 12 isn't super robust here.
Yeah, and like...
So maybe there's a little bit of consideration here. Do I want to ward or not?
The survivability is a little suspect. But, you know, at least with the Ronco, like you said, it's a big, big ward.
Yeah.
And I believe it even activated its Necrocharge effect, too. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite good.
Like Necrocharge 5 is really easy, even if you're not a piss player.
It's one of the cards that I saw from the set, and I was like, this seems really sweet. So we do have an attack of 4 coming in,
and a ward,
and then the ward. Okay, yeah.
All right, it's looking like a more even game from how we started. The sword was able to claw it back, and that's the power of Octress, honestly.
Yeah, Octress does so much work.
Yeah.
So we have even 12 all. Let's see. We still have that should be a Rin ultimate card in the EX area.
That's just a 2-1 Storm, effectively. This
Yes.
is another Shuko Shiomi. And she, now that we have enough in the cemetery, she might be able to activate her secondary effect as well. So Shuko Shiomi will be able to bury itself to summon itself.
So, yes, we also have an ultimate Ranko Kanzaki being played from hand. So this is the same card, the 5/5.
But it's going to take out the non-ultimate one. Now, that's poetic in a way.
Yeah.
And it does 3 to the enemy leader because it's at Necro Charge 10 already as well.
Yep. And
we are going to draw with the lesson effect.
Yep, so that's cashing in the final one of the magical items
No
here.
more lessons available, okay. School's out.
Yeah, school's out. Oh, maybe, I don't know. Maybe school's in. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
Doesn't ward the Ronko. I believe just trying to have it live to finish next turn, but...
Yeah, this is a very aggressive line, right? You want to keep your 5/5 a little bit less vulnerable, potentially, so your opponent can't finish it off, especially when your opponent's at 9. You're at a kind of a healthy 15.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The heal 3 really did make it feel more like a stable play there.
And so, like, this is just kind of setting up, being like, hey, you know what? I know my deck has a lot of Storm. We haven't seen any of the original Shibuya Rins yet, which have Storm natively, and then they can also give Storm, though there is one that is just put into the cemetery there from top.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just a great way to deal a lot of burst damage, and keeping your cards alive is, possibly a path to victory here.
I mean, I just think this is terrifying because if the opponent just has Disciple, it's really bad for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a gamble, for sure.
Yeah.
Because, like we mentioned, the sword deck is also, can be very explosive.
Although, I guess, to be fair, with 7 play points, even if they had 2 Disciples, in total it would only be 14 damage and not 15, right?
I think you're right.
Because Disciple gets a +2, yeah. So, maybe this was a calculated move on Risa's part.
Yeah.
That's exactly 14. It wouldn't even be 15. Hold up.
I wonder if there's another through line here. Both players kind of checking their well, we actually have Reese checking his cemetery.
There is a bit of recursion, no? Because of some of the Abyss-themed cards in the Idolmaster. I believe so, or am I mistaken?
I believe so. There is. Let me double check. There's a couple new Abyss cards that let's see. I'm just double checking and trying to refresh here.
I think
so. So there's the Nono Mirakubo. That is from top of the deck.
Ah, okay. I see.
So I'm not sure if it might just be counting cards to see what's left in the deck, right?
Oh yeah, definitely a factor. All right, so the Octress will swing for 4.
Yeah, that does make sense.
I don't know if Kikugetsu can assemble another 11 though.
I mean, I think it's gonna be pretty tough. We see. Oh, so we have Gildanley's here.
This is gonna heal up quite a bit. Which is valuable.
So yeah, this is not a card to like deal damage. This is a card to like clear board and heal, right?
Yep.
So being less than 10 health gives this drain. And so we have a.
But does it have a sail? I don't think it does.
I don't think it does either.
Yeah, so I don't think that's actually going to heal at all, unfortunately.
We do have the 5 damage Storm. So this is a classic sword card here.
That is the Disciple that I was talking about.
Yeah, that's going to be the Disciple. Yeah. It's a 3/2 with Storm, but it'll get additional +2 if your opponent has enough stuff in their cemetery.
Now let's see. On the Idolmaster side, we have the new Ranko, who is a.
It's a 2-cost 2/1 Storm with an additional effect.
No, that's the Ninomiya. I'm talking about the right. Yeah.
Oh, I think I might be confusing the.
Yeah, the new Ranko.
The very pretty alternate art.
The new Ranko is a 5/5. The new Shibuya Rin is a 2 attacker. So this is 7 total. And then do we have the additional 2?
This is the Uzuki. So this is Uzuki and then Evo.
Evolved Uzuki.
So this is a tutor. So on Evo, you can search your deck for a. This
can you search your deck for Shibuya Rin?
Yeah.
That should be lethal.
Yep. Let's see.
Is there a response?
1 play point left.
Oh,
double
armor with no place to put it. So that is going to be a GG. I believe that is Reese's victory.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage.
Goodness gracious.
It's very cool to see this extremely new version of the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls archetype.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned a few times, this set only came out like a week or so ago. And it's one of those calls where I'm like, if the deck is good enough, right, it's a really interesting meta pick because I imagine not a lot of people tested for it.
It's a surprise factor.
Yeah, and like when you go into a tournament like this, and if you've identified that aggro is good, and this is a good aggro deck, and not a lot of people have tested versus this aggro deck, that seems like an extremely good meta pick. So
well,
this deck getting into top 8 would be wild. I don't think anyone would have called that.
I'm going to go build that, I think.
Yeah.
That deck looks
cool.
so fun.
Yeah.
Genuinely. All right. Well, guys, that is the end of the Swiss rounds, which is very exciting for us.
Yes.
We are going to, tabulate all the results once the round is over and figure out the top 8, go through deck checks and all that. So the next upcoming break will be a little longer, but you definitely still want to stay tuned because the top 8 is where it gets really heated because that's where we start thinking this guy can actually win it all. And it's single
absolutely.
So
it's going to be fascinating to see what players and decks made it into the top 8.
Yeah, and it's going to be super high stakes because once again, we're out of Swiss and we're now into single elimination. So
absolutely.
It's all or nothing now. So super excited for that, Kel.
Yeah.
Now, do we have another trivia for this?
I believe we do.
This is going to be a longer one.
Yeah, so let's see. This is, what is the name of the special rarity card in Convergent Destinies? We have A, Luna Soulkeeper, B, Latica Verdant Claw, or C, Eleanor Glorious Flower.
That's right. It's one of these 3. Make sure to type your answer in the chat, and you might win some points to be able to get some merch at the end of the day. So make sure to answer. But, guys, like I said, we'll be going on a little bit of a longer break, but don't go anywhere because you'll definitely want to watch the top 8 right after this.
Absolutely.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bushiroad Championship Series 25-26 World Finals. Had a bit of a scheduling mix-up. This is actually the last Swiss round. We are going into round 7, but good news for us on the broadcast is that we just get to watch more amazing Shadowverse Evolved gameplay.
We just like Shadowverse Evolved so much, we said, hey, let's do more of it.
Extra round unlocked. That's all I'll say about that. This is going to be a fun one because the matchup we have today, for this round today, anyway.
Both are true.
This round is going to be Nova TCG, who is undefeated right now
6-0.
at a 6-0 record, versus Excel with a 5-1 record. Both some pretty interesting decks, so let's just hop into it. The players are already on the table. Shall we just hop into the game straight away, Cal?
I believe we can.
Oh, yeah. Wait. First, we got to say the trivia.
So let's see the answer for the trivia. So
That's right.
Was what is the name of the special rarity card in Convergent Destinies? And drumroll, the answer is Luna Soulkeeper.
Of course, if you were paying close attention to the Convergent Destinies release cycle, you would know this, so congratulations to all the people in the chat who got it right. Apologies to the chat. I don't mean to leave you out in the cold there. Imagine I went the whole round not telling you the trivia answer. You'll get your points. Speaking of points, let's take a look at the leaderboard and see who's leading in points here.
Whoa, okay.
Akaino Code with a massive lead. I bet that !bet command is working very well for Akaino Code. Okay, let's just head straight into the games now. Nova TCG once again versus XL. And now I think I do actually have the lists on me as well. And it's really exciting stuff. It's going to be 7 cost versus Havencraft once again. And we saw Havencraft dominate in that last round with this as well.
Yeah, we did see Havencraft already before. It is a deck that I thought would show up at the World Finals here. And glad to see that it has. It's a really interesting deck and archetype. I think a lot of people shorthand it by calling it just Wasteland, but I think there's a lot more to it than just that. And then we also have the 7 cost here.
Oh, I believe the overlay is a little bit unupdated here, but yeah, one of these players is indeed Nova TCG. Don't worry, Excel did not learn how to clone himself for this tournament.
We have it. We're all good.
We're on it, and it should be Dragoncraft as well instead of the Idolmaster there. But it's actually really, really cool just how performant Nova TCG is going with this Havencraft list. 6-0 undefeated. I did not see that one coming, to be honest.
I did not either, but I did think the deck is a pretty powerful deck, and we have a pretty nice turn 1 play from Nova here with that little bit of deck manipulation with the Goddess of the Crescent Moon, Tsukiyomi, let you kind of reorganize the top 3 cards of your deck, and you have cards, other cards in the deck that really care about playing cards from the top of the deck, and there's a lot of synergy there.
Meanwhile, on the opposite side, also a great play for the Dragoncraft with the Celestial Dragoon early, being able to try and find the Burn Knight or other good discard pieces, including the, hold up, are we going to see what's in the box?
Ooh, possibly. The Celestial Dragoon is basically the optimal early play.
It is the engine
for this deck,
of
right?
The deck. That and Zahar, I believe, are the two big pieces, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so as well. The Celestial Dragoon just kind of gives you kind of a flag of what you want to do with this deck.
And it does pull Burn Knight.
We did get the Burn Knight. So Burn Knight is an incredibly key part of this deck. It's really what kind of makes everything gel together and hum together. Otherwise,
it's the payoff.
Otherwise, you're just kind of spinning your wheels. Burn Knight is a 7-cost card, but it really costs 5 if you're doing everything right. And so that's going to be kind of the key turn here that we want to keep an eye out on as turn 5 for Excel and that big explosive Burn Knight play.
I will say as well, the Havencraft list. A lot of different options for Havencraft as a class, so I'm interested to see how Nova TCG's list differs from the list we saw previously.
Yeah, absolutely. Generally speaking, it is a deck that has a lot of Storm, even though it is Haven, and people who play a lot of Haven know that Haven can do a lot of aggressive Storm plays, and this deck typically lends itself to being one of those more aggressive Storm decks, or Haven decks, rather than one of the more defensive ones. So here we have the Paladin. This Paladin is a great follow-up to the Tsukiyomi, which lets you play basically on Evolve, lets you play a 2-drop from the top of your deck.
Whoa, and that is Rolla. Inferno Dragoon, which puts a repair mood into your EX area, and if it was put on the field by an ability, evolve it. So the Rolla now evolves for free.
Cheeky little double evolve here. That's one of the best cards you can get off the top 2, and we have a very, very nice
ultimate Rolla evolve.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on evolve, it chooses one. Select an enemy follower on the field and deal a damage equal to the number of Machina followers on your field, or give this follower Storm. So it also can get Storm.
Like I said, the deck likes Storm. Turns out a lot of the aggressive decks nowadays just love Storm.
No way.
Who would have thought?
No way.
So taking care of that Dragoon is very important. That Dragoon basically represents a ton of value, right? Because you get to draw cards after you discard. So taking that out is really, really important here. And this is a matchup where obviously the Haven deck just wants to put as much pressure as you can. We know that the 7-cost Dragon has a ton of ways to heal. We already know that Burn Knight is in hand. So you got to put as much pressure and as much damage as you can as early as you can.
All right. The thing is with the Dragoncraft, I'm really curious to see, as you say, how they're going to be able to deal with that early game pressure, and if they even can, to lead into their Burn Knight turn. Because that's sort of the problem we had last time, where they just didn't have the connective tissue to lead into the Burn Knight. That being said, Rhinox previously in the other round as well was not able to get the Burn Knight kind of on time. This time around, not an issue because we did pull it with the Celestial Dragoon.
Yeah, and here we have the Orbed Cancer discard effect. Get to draw a couple cards off of this.
I do like drawing cards. And it does, able to get the Marion down as well, which is fantastic. Which is draws a card, discards a card, and then it is also able to deal 4 to an enemy follower if you have 4 cards in your cemetery that cost 7 or more. Really easy way to clear out that Rolla while also getting 7 costs in your cemetery for your Burn Knight and down the line.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's already there, to be honest. I think by the time you're on turn 5, you could probably do it.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so as well.
If you need to. Usually you'd want to save it, for the...
You want to be able to at least evolve as well.
Yeah, for the super,
and since they're going first, they don't have those Evo points, so... Probably want to sandbag it until turn 6.
Okay, we're seeing Jean, Beacon of Salvation here.
Very, very shiny Jean down here.
I think it's very similar to the build we saw last time.
It does look very similar, at least from initial impressions here. So we see the Evo immediately.
Gets a Rolla.
Pretty good.
And then the Rolla now evolves. Wow!
So Rolla is a card we actually didn't see
in the previous list, yeah.
But it is a very, very strong card here.
So it's going to get Storm again while the Jean clears out the Marion.
Yeah, easy clear, and then just another 4 to the face.
Yeah, and remember, the Jean is also going to buff the Marion.
Yep, yep, absolutely.
Oh, sorry, buff the Rolla. So it's gonna go even more face.
So 4 face, we still have the
another 2 from the Tsukiyomi.
Yep.
This is a fast one, I'll tell you that much.
Turn 4, 9 health remaining.
All right, and Pumpkin Dragon's not gonna help you if you can't clear the board. This is gonna be a tough one for Excel.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what this Haven deck wants to do, right? And we've mentioned this all day, right? We think aggro is very, very strong into the current meta. And some of the top decks are just kind of like, you know, a little bit, I don't want to say super weak to aggro, but you kind of see it here. They need to stabilize and get to a point where they can just start healing up and getting to a point where the aggro, you know, loses gas. Well, let's see if
another Orb Cancer. What's it gonna sack?
Yeah, I mean, like
Ernst is down.
Draw some more cards.
But that's you only have 3 play points to work with now. It's looking a little dire.
I mean, if you're Nova TCG, you kind of want to see that. They're
digging. Gilnelise is fantastic.
Gilnelise is like the perfect play here.
That is the one you need. Clearing both and healing back up. But you're still not removing the Tsukiyomi, so that's still going to be able to swing for 2. I mean, for sure, Nova can't connect 10 with 4 play points, but it's still looking like you're on the back foot.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we mentioned, we probably want to wait until turn 6 to play that.
Burn Knight. Turn 7 if you're going first, too. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And I believe Excel is going first, so.
If you want to get the Super Evo.
Yeah, which you might need for the heal at this point.
So here we just have an Alice just kind of played from hand to draw a card.
Just for the draw, yeah. It doesn't get the secondary effect. Not that it would even have a target for the secondary effect, even if it could, right? So.
True.
Yeah.
So it's just a body that replaces itself here. Nova's going to be looking to just, you know, basically fill the board as much as he possibly can this turn. Is that another Alice? Nope.
It is another Lunarian.
This is the Paladin. Yeah, this one's great.
Okay. There's no way this pulls a 3rd row, though, right? We're not that guy.
I don't know. We'll see. So let's see. We're looking for a 2-drop off the top.
Ooh, we have Revolver Eagle is a very nice one to get. Remember, this also gets you a Bullet Bike in the EX area, too.
Yeah, get Stormbird.
Oh, suddenly we're, dude, so many tokens in the EX.
Oh, yeah, we have the repairs in there, yeah, too.
All right, this is going for another 4 to the dome.
Taking him down to 8 here with a pretty big board, right?
It's looking
only 5 play points. Can't even play Burnout and Evo.
This is where, if you were running it, you would be, like, hoping to get your Apollo, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Apollo is great in against a lot of the aggro decks, right?
I agree.
2 damage to board, a little bit of chip to face, pretty good. Into this board, it is, yeah, it would be pretty solid.
I guess another way to remove it is if you have the Tyrannosaur and a discarder or something like that. Another Gildenlease would obviously be ideal if you have it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you've been knocked back down below 10, you still get the drain. Just Gildenlease turn after turn. Let's see. So I see a little bit of... Was that the card draw card or the card selection card? I saw
Draconic Call, yeah.
Draconic Calls.
I see Rights, I see Call, and I see Burn Knight.
There's Rights in hand as well.
Yeah,
but I feel
that's
like
not enough. That's not enough.
Rights is more of like a setup card. It's not what you want in a situation like this. You got to deal with the board, basically, right?
Is there even an option that Dragon has without an Apollo? I feel like if he had the Apollo or the Gildenlease, he would have played it by now.
I think Excel is in a pretty tough situation here.
I would agree.
We see him pulling the Draconic Call to front, considering his options as well.
I think there's no easy out here, unfortunately.
So here we do see the rights. So we're gonna discard here.
There's a hard discard is nice because you at least get to.
So this will heal 1 and a turn. You'll be able to do a little bit of damage.
And the top of deck effect. Let's see if we can get anything good. Pumpkin Dragon, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation, man.
This is really difficult. I'm really impressed by Haven so far. You know, I was kind of going into this thinking it was a bit fraudulent, but clearly I'm eating my words.
Bro, the deck's sweet, man. The deck is really cool. It has a lot of ways to deal with, like, opposing aggro decks, too.
Mm.
Like the Dual Cannon Abyss has the ability to ping board for 1.
Just wipe the board. Yeah, that's really strong.
If the deck's running Apollo, they also have the ability to ping board for 1. So it's good in the mirror and can be really, really threatening against slower decks. So basically the question is, can we count to 9 on this turn? We know the deck has a ton of Storm, but the question is, do we have it in hand? I think I see an Apollo in hand, actually.
We see an Apollo for the other player.
Yeah, I do see an Apollo in hand. I think I see an Apollo. I see a Jean. Can't quite make out what else he has. Oh, I think is that an Alice? Yeah, there's another Alice in there.
I think I see a Havenfire in there too. Oh, and a Jean.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that a
Sarissa?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a Sarissa, I believe. Yeah.
So, not like immediate slam dunk, but there's some options here. The Sarissa is okay. So we have. So the other card we couldn't make out was the
Despair's Maiden.
I call it the Dark Jean. Yeah, yeah.
All right. So, well, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Just
So
swing two, swing two. This is looking dire.
For another. So 3 health remaining.
Is there a Stormer from Nova, or is this going to be the end of the turn? It's going to be Sarissa. So the Sarissa comes down. This card has Ward. If there are at least 3 cards on the field, it has Storm, but it's only 2 damage, so still alive, barely.
Yeah, taking it to 1.
And we are going to do the quick play on the Draconic
He's got to dig for answers here.
All right, Pumpkin Dragon is found, and so is the Devouring Dread.
Yeah, it's the big one. So we got Pumpkin, Devouring. We already know that the Burnite is in hand. I think you want to do a play that keeps you alive here, maybe without having to play out the Burnite if it's the only one in hand.
Wait a minute. Played the Jean there, but I think Apollo also would have just pinged 1 on Fanfare, right? Was that a missed lethal?
It possibly could have been. I'm pretty sure Apollo does ping face.
It does, yeah. It's not just on the evolve form. The base form also pings face. So if you didn't play the Jean, you would have had, you have 1 play point remaining. You would have 3 play points left. Wouldn't that have been the additional 1 damage?
I think you may be right.
Perhaps.
If assuming we correctly,
I don't think it really matters.
Assuming we correctly saw the Apollo in hand, I'm pretty sure I saw the Apollo in hand.
I think I did as well. Maybe I just got old man eyes. I don't know. All right.
So we have the Burnite coming in. So this is going to be a Burnite, discard, draw 2.
Well, 1 draw, 1 to the bot, and then we get the Tyrannosaur out of it. The Burnite can evolve here, but I don't think it can super yet, right? Yeah, it's not turn 7 yet.
It can't super, so this is just going to be the regular Evo.
So it's not even it's just going to clear, but it's not going to heal.
Yeah. And then, like, in a situation where you're at 1 and the opponent does have an Apollo.
Yeah.
If Nova realizes that they missed lethal, this could just be it. Yeah.
5 to the dome. I mean, the Tsukiyomi's not even answered. So.
That's true, yeah. Tsukiyomi's still there.
Oh, man.
All right, I think the other writing's on the wall. There you go.
Incredibly convincing game from Nova TCG. I am seeing now why Nova TCG is undefeated. I'll tell you that much right now.
Extremely aggressive deck. I don't know. I really think the this Haven deck is really sweet.
I think the through line of the day is just aggro is way better than people are giving it credit for.
It's very good.
Yeah.
So we are gonna have at least a Haven deck in the top 8.
For sure, yeah.
Like, guaranteed.
Okay, now I believe this was the final Swiss round.
Yeah.
Let's get a read on that.
Yeah, I do believe it's the final Swiss round.
Yeah.
And I also think we still have trivia as well, right?
That's right. We do still have 1 trivia. Well, I think we still have a couple actually.
Yeah, we'll be doing more trivia.
But
for sure.
but we have a trivia for you right now before this next break. Let's see. How many clan heads are featured in boosters at Neo Metropolis?
Ooh.
Is it A, 2, B, 6, and C, 4? Which one is it? Type in the chat right now. Also, I will say this one's fun because it's both a knowledge check about the booster set and also a little bit of the lore of Tokyo.
That's true.
So which
That's
is kind of
true,
cool. Yeah. So go ahead and type it in the chat right now. Which one do you think is the correct answer? And we'll reveal the correct answer once we come back from the break into the top 8. Fingers crossed it actually is the top 8 this time.
Yeah.
But guys, we'll be back. This one will be a slightly longer break because now we're going to do deck checks. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be back with the top cut right after this.
All right, how's it going, everyone? And welcome back to the Bushiroad Championship Series World Finals here in Tokyo, Japan. For Shadowverse Evolve, my name is Kel, also known as Red Zone Rogue, and joined by Ignidius.
Hello.
Yeah, so we are here at the cusp of the top 8. Now, deck checks are currently underway, so we don't quite have the matches right yet, but we do have a big announcement on the horizon, which we're going to, basically this is what we're going to watch upcoming very, very shortly.
Yeah, it's the Bushiroad Spring Conference for this year, and usually at Worlds they do a conference as well that announces all the amazing new news for the variety of Bushiroad games, including for Shadowverse Evolve. And I'm particularly excited for this spring conference, Kel, off of the back of the 4th anniversary stream that they did over on the Japanese edition side that also announced a lot of really cool stuff. So we have the video for you now. Let's just all watch together right here before we get into the top 8.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, hold up. We're trying to get this video synced up across all the streams, so
that makes sense.
We do have to get the exact timing right. That being said, I think the funny thing is that some of the Bushiroad like employee accounts, like Intern Kun on X and Twitter and stuff, were hyping this one up. So I actually am pretty excited for this, especially for Shadowverse Evolve.
I've heard we're about ready to go live in
in about 30 seconds.
So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we'll be watching the entire thing, guys, so just stay seated and get excited and ready for the future of all the various Bushiroad games.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I actually don't know what it is, so I'm excited for it.
I mean, of course, for us, the Shadowverse Evolve segment is the most important part, right?
Yeah. All right, let's go to it.